The show, we have experts, actors, boxing stars, and business moguls. They all come together to celebrate the Fight Show special edition of Super Bowl 58. You'll get to hear from celebrities in their industry and myself. We will also be handing out over $50,000 in prizes to our viewers. But before we get started, we'd like to introduce our sponsor. JabJuice Social Media Marketing makes it possible for entrepreneurs today to build a power brand and gain total control over their destinies and literally help them influence the world in massive numbers. Business is compiled of only two things: audience and operations. Take your life to a different stratosphere in 2024 with JabJuice Social Media. It's a different level in social jubi. Now, let's get on with the show. We have a lot of individuals to introduce, and we got some great stars who will come here and help take this thing to the next level. So we want this to be a more interactive opportunity for you all as fans to take part in. Let's get it popping with the Fight Show special edition, Super Bowl 58. Let's get it popping. All right, here we go. Here we go. Thank you guys for taking the time to tune in with us. It is a special time. We will cover a lot of amazing things, but first, I'd like to introduce my guests and thank you guys for all taking the time to come and join us, man. It's about to go down. You guys got the power team here today. What's up, brother?
Yo,
What's good?
hey, I'm just ready for some pre Super Bowl pickleball. So I ain't suited up and all that,
Oh,
but
you ready to go, brother? You look good. Look, you ain't this ain't
do a,
9
do
8,
a
this ain't 7
5 mile hike
a.m.
this
Jake.
morning, and now did a little 5 mile hike this morning, and now we got a
What?
pickleball tournament
What?
pregame pickleball
5
time.
miles? Oh,
Oh yeah,
you serious with it, my
hey
man?
hey, we're just trying to get in that fighter fit, right?
Got it. Well, I tell you what, man, it's about to go down. I'm looking forward to sharing some things. We got some great special guests up here today, but I wanted to start this thing off because we know one of the things that's been kind of really polarizing as the Super Bowl has really approached the whole time. And the first, article of discussion for me is, everybody knows who she is, Taylor Swift, the impact that she's had on Kelsey, man. And all of you guys out here in social media, I want you to realize that this is interactive. We want to hear from you and your take on all of these different, when Hollywood just brings, you're in Hollywood, so you know what it brings. And this is just a time that I feel like it's going to be very powerful that we talk about the impact of personal branding and stuff like that. And a lot of these people who will be watching today, some of them are stars who will be on the show. But, what has been the impact that you feel like and you see that social media has done? And when it comes down to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey, what's your take? Go.
Well, I mean, first of all, let's just look at you have the Kelsey brothers who are doing fantastic on their own social, on their own
Yeah,
personal brand,
facts.
but you know, let's look at these two entities individually,
Yeah,
Kelsey brothers and Taylor, where, they started a podcast. That's mainly what they do. That's mainly how they're creating content, very similar
yeah,
to this. And it's fun, it's relaxed, but you get insights into a world that everybody would love to have insights to, where they
yeah,
don't need to be sponsored by Fox. They don't need to be sponsored by NBC, by
yeah,
Barstool. They can just do it themselves.
yeah, yeah,
There's just like this. You have a beautiful little setup with lights and everything like that. I'm just doing it on my laptop today. Like you
yeah.
don't need the
No.
barrier to entry is so low
Yeah,
to do this thing. Like,
yeah,
and they now with Taylor, obviously with Travis, is like
yeah.
they are now the number one podcast in the world.
That's insane. How did they just go
They're
from?
bigger than Call Me Daddy. They're bigger than Joe Rogan, but it's because of Taylor. Because the whole thing is, if this is what when I work with clients, is like I always try to tell them, it's like bring them into a world that nobody else knows,
Mm-hmm.
or the general public doesn't know, and it could be freaking electrical engineering,
Yeah,
right? But
facts.
all of these things about this world, whatever the world is, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. bring them into this world, let them know kind of the gossip, the tea, the, whatever, you want to call it, these
Yeah.
fun facts, the secrets of that world.
That's a
And
big deal. That's a big deal. I want to hear from some of my people out here because today we're going to really get into a couple of things. Thanks for that take, Jake. You always got more insight on these things. And my man Jake here is a specialist out here in the business world, marketing, all of this brand building, and he's just an overseer. So you're going to get some good pearls today, especially if you got entrepreneurial mindset and you like making money. This guy here is about that lifestyle. So I want to hear, what are you guys out here? I know some of you really follow football or Taylor Swift. And what have you seen and what has it meant to you by seeing someone from the music industry impact the sports industry so hard? Like the actual impact of just the way she's come on board, and you see her more than you see most of the players. They put the camera on her. I mean, what is that, Jake? You know what I'm saying?
have you read how much she increased the top line of the Chiefs' revenue this year?
No.
She increased
How
it by
much?
$330 million.
Man, you gotta be. Are you serious, dude? 300 million and $30 million?
$330 million.
That's 1/3 of $1 billion.
Yeah. So the amazing thing, so just to break down a little bit of what Taylor's done, because a lot of what we talk about, especially between
Yeah,
you and I, is personal branding. And what she's really done is not just like put herself out there and build a great
yeah,
personal brand, because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, do that. But like what she's really done is build a beautiful connection
yeah,
with her fans, where she
yeah.
literally will invite 100 fans into her own house to do a concert for them, or she will go to a fan's house and do a meet and greet at fans' houses. So there's a level of getting personal, and that is why she has a die hard fandom. Is because
Yeah,
she has take like the ROI of her time of meeting with one fan. There's no ROI in that,
yeah,
but the larger PR of what
yeah,
it does to the kind of the mythos of Taylor Swift,
yeah.
the whole friendship bracelet trend,
Oh my
right?
gosh, that's
And
crazy.
what she's done for the NFL is that she's literally opened up an entire female demographic to the NFL,
In a
because
major
now
way.
fathers are being able to connect with their daughters for the first time over a commonality.
Yeah. What do
Because
you think the biggest difference when females get into something opposed to males? What's the number one difference?
I mean, I think there's more discussion. I mean, as us as
More
guys, like
money.
more money and just exactly the more attention and the more discussion always ends up leading to more money.
Yeah.
But because it's like women will buy things like there's
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to pronounce her last name, but did you see the whole thing with the uh one of the wives of the players on it's like
Uh-uh.
Jack or something like that. It's some kind of
Yeah. Weird name. Yeah.
yeah. So the surname is hard to pronounce, or I don't know it exactly. But she basically would read like up what is it, up design
Yeah.
clothing. And she would give it to Taylor Swift. She'd give it to like Selena Gomez, Taylor Lautner, all of these people. And then now she has a whole deal with the NFL, like a brand deal with the NFL where she's able to design their stuff legally now.
Wow.
But again, it's just the power of like, and it's opened up an entire female merch section of the NFL. It was
Totally.
not just like, oh, wear your jersey, but like these really cute, really, really stylish female outfits. Again, but building from her personal brand of being the
Yeah.
wife of an NFL player, being able to this, but then leveraging celebrities, leveraging influencers. It's wild.
Sports. Anybody out here who are athletes, all of you guys who are athletes, you need to think about this and you need to understand the people and the power of having women and celeb conversations and doing things to build your own brand, because we got a lot of conversations. We're going to get into the conversation with Cat Williams. We're going to also give over $50,000 in prizes to our audience today, because we're
That's
going to start
insane.
off with some trivia. We got to get the trivia popping. So if you get one of these gold tickets, you're winning. So I want you guys to take liberty and to jump over. If you're over on Instagram or TikTok, make sure you come over and join the live stream, because it's going down. We are definitely about to get into it. And the next thing that I thought about was the trivia. So the first thing I want to ask our audience today is kind of, how many Grammy Awards has Taylor Swift won? And this includes everyone. And remember,
It
we're
includes
going
just
to
last week.
Since last, huh?
And I mean, just includes what, that number went up last weekend.
Did it? Well, if they get the number that we have over here, then that's cool. And I see, yeah, you can put it in there too. You get an opportunity. And this kind of what really makes things, this really brings things full circle, because the prizes here are going to be, this one will be getting a full ride into our program. One is prep school. So I want to see at least 2 or 3. Oh, I got them coming over here. IG. I see my man Cool Money, Marketina, Kobe. Any relations? C? No. No. Jay, go for it. Who and what do you have?
I think none of the above. I think it's more. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I think it's B, 17. I didn't read it fully. That's what I'm going to
Okay.
guess.
Well,
But I don't know for sure.
This is where we were before last week. All right. So I got we're going to drop the answer. And the answer is A.
Oh, really?
The answer is A. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I need to fact check this now, because she just
That's
won.
where it is now. That's where it is now. Stacey, you got to weigh in on something?
Yeah. Hey, Jake.
Hey.
I think we definitely need to fact check that, because I think we're right at the 14.
Yeah.
I think she's now 14.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Because she just won album of. So I don't know if this is going to be on your trivia, but she just won album of the year for the 4th time, and she's the only person to ever have done that.
Yeah, that's real. And
crazy.
No, that's unreal. But you know what she does? She doesn't sit back and wait. She goes out there, and like you were saying, Jake, she goes out there and pounds the market. Mm-hmm. She doesn't wait for the market to pound her. She goes after it. That's how you got to do and operate in business. And I think the fact that she had that, kind of head-on clash with her former handlers gave her the motivation. And I encourage anyone who's working under anyone or anything to challenge the status quo and go harder, and don't be afraid, because that's how you get to that next level. When you're trying to, walk the walk and talk the talk and live in the confines of your own comfort zone, you'll never get there. But when you go after it and you push yourself and you push the envelope and you just trust the process, that's when you'll get to that next level. You got to go hard. And that's what that young lady does. She's working.
Yeah.
It's 14 now.
It is 14.
So whoever said C is right.
That's all right. And the one thing I wanted to mention before I bounce out is we talked about sharing the stream. Get the number right, get the right answer, and share the stream that we're doing here. So just want to remind you of that, Mr. Bradley.
What, the stream?
We asked people to share. That gives
and you got to make sure you share the stream. So go up to my stories for my people over here and make sure you click over into the stories, and you can click in on the stream and watch. So, like I said, good. Thanks for the reminder. You got to make sure you share the post. Next, go to the next. We'll go to the second one. How many years ago, speaking of stars,
Oh
One
God.
of the key stars of the show today, who will be doing the halftime show, is Usher. And the trivia today with Usher is, how many years ago did Usher release his first album? Jake, you gotta know. You're in the entertainment, man.
God, I feel old now because
Let me see, my man Rajman over here.
I don't want to give anything away, but it's definitely
No,
not
don't
10
give it
years
away
ago.
yet.
If anyone says A, fired. Get out of the stream. Just get out
If anyone says A, they're 12.
Just get out of the stream. Just like you are not old enough to be here.
Absolutely. No, I don't think I have all the. Let me get that. My man Roshan, what's say Nathan? Nathan, tell me, Nathan, how many years ago did Usher release his first album? We got people hitting Google. We got people. Look, man, you guys got to get up on your knowledge. First thing, when you say Joe Braun, Jabroni, is it Jabroni on IG? Too funny. First answer. Let me see. Special shouts out to my brother, Coach T from New York. Special shouts out to you. Next, let me see. No, Ivan _med. No, not 15. No. 35 TJI. He said no, not 11. 11's not even an option, dude. What are you looking at? Jeez. Let me see. Sits down, time up. The answer is D, 30. 1994, Usher released his first CD up under his own name brand. Yeah, that's crazy, right? 30 years old, 30 years. And he still looks amazing.
Oh, he's gonna crush. He's gonna crush it today.
He's in total form, man. But that was obviously something tough for the audience. People don't know their history. I know Usher's kind of been away doing his residency out in Vegas. How was your trip to Vegas?
Oh, it's crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I was out there shooting a bunch of pre-game content and stuff like that. Just
yeah. Did you get some good stuff?
Oh yeah. It's getting wild out there though. It's getting wild. It's
almost like trying to hang out and party in South Beach. Just kind of forget about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. That's definitely past my my comfort zone. It gets just a little bit pandemonium. But one thing, we lost we lost one of the greatest to ever get up on a big screen, and he was from our world and your world at the exact same time. So let's put up this clip and cue this up with my man, the legend.
No, he's too old and dull. Hey, the Bobby Judge, he's a good boy.
No, man, I don't feel the heat from that name.
Joe Zack's a good prospect. Exactly what are you looking for, Apollo?
This is what I'm looking for. The Italian Stallion.
Rocky Balboa? Never heard of him.
Look, it's the name, man. The Italian Stallion. The media will eat it up. Now, who discovered America? An Italian, right? What would be better than to get it on with one of his descendants?
He's a southpaw. I don't want you messing around with southpaws. Now, they do everything backwards.
Southpaw, nothing. I'll drop him in 3. Apollo Creed meets the Italian Stallion. Sounds like a damn monster movie.
Woo! That was my guy, man. Whoa. There my boy go. What's up, Otis?
Hey,
what's up, champ?
What's up, Super Sunday?
It's all good. Come up to the screen, bro. We all uptight. You are you laid back today. What's good, man?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
Had the health scare over the last couple of weeks and everything.
Yeah.
God is good and just moving forward.
Yes, I talked to two of my brothers today, and I'm gonna talk to you after we get done. And so tell me about your guy. What was your affinity for Apollo Creed? What impact did you feel like he had on the sport and acting altogether?
Well, I thought he was a legend from the first time I ever saw him on screen. Like,
yeah,
just watching him, I had a uncle by the name of Uncle Bobby, Bobby James, and watching the movie with him and everything, and then I'm thinking that I'm Apollo Creed, and he like wait, he goes, you ain't never gonna be Apollo Creed if you ain't doing your push-ups and your sit-ups every day and all this stuff. So I immediately started doing it, and pretty much patterned everything after him as far as the presentation of boxing. It seemed like he threw 1 billion jabs in one round. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
I wanted to be on my toes throwing that jab like that. I wanted to have a beautiful body like his. I wanted to.
He was a freak.
That confidence that he exuded.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. So.
Well, you did. I mean, the first time I saw you on television, I mean, I was like, first thing I said is that guy right there is a beast. Like, he is all the way. Like, you could have been on anything. You could have been a movie star only. You could have just been, you would have taken the game by storm. And Jake, he's from the film world. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you seen this dude, man, he was a beast. And you represented television. And I know they appreciate it because you were the best specimen that they had, and they knew that. Like, you were performing that way. So, shouts out to you for that, showing up. Thanks, Paulo, for motivating my guy to get guns. Paulo. Like, you was crazy shredded. I was like, that dude is on his game. He you look like television. That's the way a television star should look. So yeah, that was crazy. What about you, Jake? What was the first time you seen Rocky series? And so Paulo,
I mean, I think I saw him first in Happy Gilmore. Like, wow.
Man, that's movie world.
I think I saw that before I saw Rocky.
Yeah, you would.
But I mean, you just see the depth of the man. Not like be able to transverse genres to not only be, and not just like the action comedy guy, like not just like straight action from like Predator to Rocky, but then like do low-key movies. He's not like a Jason Statham where he's like either gonna do action or like The Rock where he's gonna do like action or action comedy, but like he could just do normal drama to like just you really saw talent there. So much talent.
Yeah, he was special. The Rocky was on the record the other day and just saying, he's putting out a lot of content, and these guys understand the power of personal branding. You're talking about The Rock, you're talking about Rocky, you're talking about people who are already multi-millionaires, billionaires probably, with his investments and his, what his actual asset value is. So, but you see them taking advantage of today's social media and turning the camera on and doing skits every day with his daughters. And he said, the first time that he saw him, he said he was just polarizing. This guy walked into the set and he said he knew it. And he said just his level of charisma with what he did and how he did it and how he raised his game up because he was so influencing. And he was just, he had the look. And I mean, I'm not judging, but when I look at Michael B. Jordan, I'm like, he's still trying to get that whole thing that Creed was doing this in the 70s without all of that technology and without all of the bells and whistles and, enhancements. He doesn't have these world-class trainers in his corner and these nutrition plans that these guys have gotten that came around in the 80s with the Jane Fondas and the Richard Simmons and, the Billy Blanks, where people started getting on their stuff. And it was just, I just think about it. I'm looking at the dude. He didn't have an ounce of fat on his body anywhere. Even the last time I saw him, which is a week and a half ago, on a commercial. Yeah. So I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking, this dude is still looking like this.
Yes.
Today. And he took a picture with Ivan Drago recently. And stature-wise, it's like Drago has shrunk and Paulo is still that dude. So Paulo was bigger stature-wise, just not height-wise. But you could just see he was like, yeah, if we get it on now, I got you. Because they had a thing when they was filming that Drago was really a competitive athlete. He was like, he was trying to take his head off for real. And Paulo walked out, was like, yo, man, this dude he ain't trained to be no actor. You know, it was crazy. But then they made up and they created, of course, epic scenes. And but his impact on the sport, and it's just what today is. Like when you look at these athletes today, they don't understand how hard those guys worked back then. And it shows up in the work that they produce and the way that their impact on the game. So that for me showed the level of just today, these guys, they just have a different mindset and they don't truly understand how much it means to say what you mean and to be out here showing your actual commitment to what this sport by marketing yourself and making it very easy for these promoters to give them the kind of money that they want. The thing about it is this is a barter. You got to produce the numbers. You got to have interest. And not only do you have to train as an athlete, you have to take what you're doing and you have to make that a part of who you are, like Floyd did. He made a part, he created the villain in the black hat. You know, you got Prince Nassim. Prince Nassim, he was just so polarizing because he understood how much value that would bring. So there was just this clip from over the weekend of what's his face? Ryan Garcia. Mm-hmm. And Ryan Garcia went there and shoved Devin Haney. Like it was crazy. Like he was bringing the smoke and he's showing, I'm trying to make my money. I'm trying to get the money that I'm going to bring. He did it with Tank last year. So listening to him, and I just, you know, with you guys sitting here, where my mind goes is that, Otis, you're managing fighters and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know, and how often do you really have to make it clear to these guys that it's important that they do all of the stuff?
All the time. I just signed a new guy over the weekend. It's really just the culture of this generation, and they really got to get out of it if they really want to do something. They all expect to be handed stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, signed the guy, first thing he says is a couple days later, like, can you get me a fitness trainer and a nutritionist? And I'm like, because, you know, he had been on like a 2-year hiatus, and he was, you know, a very he was an Olympic alternate and all this stuff, but, you know, been on a hiatus since. And I'm like, you mean to tell me that somebody has to motivate you and feed you the right way after you've been sitting around for 2 years, like you're not motivated? And he's like, what do you mean by that? I just, you know, need to, you know, someone to get me back. I'm like, you had PE in high school, right? He's like, yeah. I go, everything you learned in PE in high school is good enough to keep you in shape for boxing.
Period.
I was like, I don't understand why they think like, this guy, he's doing these great looking sit-ups on Instagram, so that means that I have to go get him to train me to do, like, just do some crunches.
They don't understand.
Do the work.
They really don't. They really don't understand, and it's up to, because they don't quite understand. And I'm bringing a clip up right now for you guys to all see. Is because they don't quite understand the importance of why. Now, when we were younger and the sport, it was clear that promoters, they needed to sell tickets in order for them to say, here's the amount of money that you want, because you got this many people coming. And they have to understand, I'm not just spending my money. This is a 2-thing deal. Like you're not fighting that good, where you already got a lot of people, you know, showing up. And no, that's not what it's about. It's about you understanding how many more people will want to see it. And then I'm going to show this little clip because, you know, there's always a little tension in the real fight game, you know, but just look at how much goes into these guys doing what they doing. And I'm gonna pull my foot
that
down.
was whack.
Okay.
That was whack. You soft, bro. You soft.
I've
You
never been
soft.
soft.
Soft. Soft.
I've never been soft.
We seen that video when
Okay.
Tank beat
Okay.
your ass. You don't do shit.
Okay.
You look like a ghost right now, bro.
Go.
Ghost, you getting hell for real, bro. You getting hell for real. Fear
I
is
just talked
getting
to you last
to you.
week.
That
You're
fear
not
is
like
getting
that.
to you.
I just talked to you
That fear
last
is getting
week.
to
You're
you.
not like
That
that.
fear is getting to
Okay.
you. I told you gonna feel some fear, right? Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you gonna feel some fear you ain't felt? Thank you.
All right. You get it? That fight, Ryan Garcia know what him and Tank did last year at this time. Leading up to the fight last April, they were going insane. It's part of the game. And then you got these guys like, well, you know, I'm kind of quiet. We have people who come to us and they want to get on this show. I'm like, you don't want to get on this show because you don't care about building your own person in your brand.
Yeah.
So I can't care more about it than you. So if you want to be a celeb, celebrities celeb. Rocky went to the hospital so many times, making sure that the scenes felt real. And so when you think about it, that's what they don't understand. They're like little kids that never want to pay bills when they leave the house. Like, no, mommy was paying the bills and daddy was paying the bills, but that's what you also have to do. So that's where it is, man. What's your take on these guys, though? You know, just where people will go, and then they're wondering why Ryan Garcia is making more money than all of the guys, except for Tank, because Tank has a big following as well. Period. Point blank. Go for it.
My take on it definitely is that, you know, it's like Don King always said, it's heroes and villains, right? You know, I think that one thing that that's been painted this day and age is that you have to be the loudmouth guy all the time, whereas you can talk quietly also. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if you're a person that that, you know, like Sugar Ray Robinson, that wears a suit to the fight, you know, carries a briefcase, goes in there, puts in his work, talks eloquently in interviews and things like that, people will attach to that. Well, that's kind of like a Anthony Joshua type person right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you have your I think what Ryan is trying to attack is that old Fernando Vargas type image or whatever. I don't know if he can achieve it because he's kind of he should be trying to achieve the De La Hoya heartthrob image, but he's trying to go after the ferocious Vargas image. And, you know, hey, he's making money, so it must be working a little bit. And then you got Devin, who is trying to attach himself to the street credibility of his father in the city that he was born in of Oakland, which is, you know, that's not a bad idea either. He's kind of shaping and forming himself. He's making his career his own, and I respect him for that. But he started off, you know, trying to go after the Oakland bad guy, street guy, turned into a star type image and things of that nature. What I'm trying to say is this: remember who you are and where you want to go, because once you paint on that canvas what you want the people to see, you can't flip-flop. Yeah. Like right now, Ryan can't go into being the humble guy no more, because then people will be like, man, this is so fake, you know, da 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 da. So kids out there, once you paint that image, you cannot reverse. So be sure that you research the history of where certain boxers went with that image and things of that nature, because also it's going to matter in who you get for sponsors. Now you can't get a certain sponsor because, you know, you say certain things or you paint a certain image. So it's a lot that has to go into it, and that's why these people have marketing people on their teams. You know, that's why they should be getting with you, Eric, and your stuff that you're doing too, as far as building the talent and the product. And that's what these guys don't do also. They talk a great game. Jada Kiss once said, there's a rapper named Lil Zane, right? He goes,
I know Lil Zane.
He goes, I hate Lil Zane because he sound like Pac, but he ain't got no heart. And that's what these guys are. It's like they talk a great game. When it comes down to the fighting and everything, they forgot that, hey, I've been talking. I'm gonna have to show and prove here pretty soon. And that's that's the state of boxing right now. I think if they got it backwards. If they lay the groundwork and then they pay particular image consultants and things like that to put them on a certain level to be themselves, then they would walk right into this thing would fit like a slipper, you know. But
well, that's what we're here to do. Jake, what's your point? When you see these just athletes, even actors, like who just want to get on the movie screen, but they don't want to build who they are?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I think you made a great point about the rebrand, right? Where like, I want to just give an example. It's like, you definitely like, I think you need to find a position in the marketplace. You know, sounds very technical, but basically like you need to basically find a pedestal and stand on it and be like, this is who I am. And it can be, you know, Eric, as you talk about it all the time with your clients, is like, pick your character. Who are you? What do you stand for? And take that position. That doesn't mean you can't change. Going back to where we started with Taylor Swift, she was a cute little country star. She's built her brand up to being the biggest pop star. She's no longer a country.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can change your brand over time. I'm going to give you just the reverse is in the entertainment side is Matthew McConaughey. Right. And he was the rom-com guy. He was the leading rom-com guy. And if you read in his book, Greenlights, he took 2 years. He turned down, there was a project, I don't remember what it was. I don't think he even said, they offered him $2 million. He said no, because he wanted to rebrand. He's like, I gotta not be the rom-com guy anymore. Fuck this. I gotta, oh.
Yeah.
And so they said $2 million. He was like, no. 4 million. No. 6 million.
Ooh.
No. 11 million.
Whoa.
And he was like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
2 years he didn't take any work. 2 years. He then did Mud, Dallas Buyers Club, and Wolf of Wall Street. Changed his life.
Yeah.
He did all of those within like 12 months.
Matthew McConaughey.
Because
that's what I was about to say. Because I didn't hear the name at the beginning, and I was like, "Well, that's Matthew McConaughey."
Yeah. But then now he can do anything. He could do a rom-com. He could do anything he wants.
Yeah.
And that's where like one of the things that I always talk about is like, especially to artists, is like get pigeonholed. Because then you're known. He's like, get pigeonholed as this type of actor, this type of painter, this type of musician. Like, because then at least you're known by people as that's what that person does. The first thing that people struggle with is obscurity. Is that people just don't know you.
Period.
Like there are 8 billion people on this planet. Like people, and that's why like it really goes like, how many people did you talk to today? Because I coach a lot of artists, and it's like, how many contacts do you have? 100, 1,000? There's 8.2 billion people on this planet. Like, just stretch your mind a little bit more. And so that's where it's like, and in terms of the boxing world, I think it's definitely like, you know, you get a lot of the different positions, like, and you try to make content that will naturally go viral, that people are going to go.
Yeah.
So you get a lot in the boxing of like, oh, I'm going to pre-fight you so that people want to see what actually the fight is, what happens actually in the fight. So like, oh, here's all this like tough guy stuff, or at least that's what I see it. I see it a lot as a big marketing ploy.
Yeah.
You know, and I've heard definitely like this is about presidential debates. Like, well, they'll get at each other on the debate, and then behind closed doors, they're like, oh, what's up? How you doing? How's the family? How's the wife? Like, and they're all chummy and best friends and everything like that. But, you know, outside, you know, now it's on, it's all words and not, with no muscles. But again, it's the same thing. It's showboating. It's talking. It's making a position in the marketplace.
It's okay that they are, if you don't want to be like polarizing, but there are other phases and methods. Look at Usher. He's taken the role of, I'm carrying, but when I'm on the stage, I'm a superstar. I'm untouchable. And that is where it goes to that next place. Like the way Tyson is today. He wasn't the same way as he was back then. But now, if you think about it, he's as popular now than he was then. Everybody's putting, deals together with him. You can't turn the television on and not see Mike Tyson somewhere, or social media. You can't. And that's what my biggest thing is with these guys. You're scared to stop training for a second. And the next thing that I say to these guys is these trainers, the people who are responsible for them, the managers and all of those guys, just like we were talking about with the guy that we were doing together, Jake, is we were saying, hey, what are they doing? They got to come on board and they got to commit to something as well and stuff, because you got to do this. You got to have people, and you got to have an audience of people that's just there showing love, climbing on. Tens of thousands of people saying, I like what you're doing. Give me more. And that's where you start to really build that brand. That's where you start to get the opportunities and the offers. I don't know what's so tough to make people jump. For me, it's a no-brainer. But I got just to lay it out and give it up right now, because right now we've approached our next guest. So I'm going to pull you guys down, and I'm going to bring one of today's most polarizing individuals that I've seen, and I can't wait to chop it up. And before we chop it up, I'm going to introduce him, kind of just to pop up something that you guys understand, that there is just levels to this game. And
the reason we're all here today is because we do a lot of business together. We're ramping up production.
You do not know who you're playing with. Start talking, bitch.
Where is the respect? I want Junior Duncan dead by the end of the week.
Heat belongs to the Duncans. Anyone who doesn't understand that.
Oh, Ringo! Now, listen, you play Junior.
Junior Duncan, that's right now.
What is Junior's role in the Duncan family?
Junior is the protector, the enforcer. I've had to really step up, and I have to watch everybody. I have to watch my brother's back, Paris. It gets real.
Yes, it's believable. I feel like you could hurt a couple guys and not break a sweat.
Watch your tone.
Yes.
boom, boy, I got you, didn't I? I got you, didn't I? I got you.
What's going on, brother? Good to see you, man.
You know what it is,
Thanks for
man.
having me.
Hey, Sean Ringo, everybody. This is this generation's Black Tony Soprano. Joking. Look at him. What's good? There you go. My man. There you go. Yo, I love that, man. Boy, I can't.
I got a lot of fun, brother. Just try to have fun. Life is too short to take yourself too serious. So whenever I come on these shows, I just like to have a good time. I go in character from time to time, but
you do. Hey,
it's just an act. It's just
you know what
I'm really
I heard?
a nice guy. I'm really a nice guy.
You know what I heard though? Oh, the Giants always gentle, unless. But Robert De Niro's wife said when he would come home, she didn't know who she was getting because he would go there. Jim Carrey, they said, he was playing. I can't think of the guy named the guy who was TV host. He played on Taxi. Curly-haired guy. I can't think of his name right off the cuff, but Jake might be able to know because Jake is in the film industry. And that's why I wanted him to be on when you came on.
Understood. Got you.
So Jim Carrey was in character. And I think Michael J. White was wanting to meet him. And he said when he got to meet him, he said he was in character. So he didn't get a chance to really meet. No, it was Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle said it. He said when he approached him, he was in that other character.
That's right.
Look, man, that's what is required.
They say there's a saying says in order for you to become the person you want to be, you have to sacrifice the person you currently are.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you are very committed to your craft and the characters that you're creating, we're human beings, and it's not easy to just turn that switch on and off.
Yeah.
Like I just finished shooting season 5 here in LA. I'm back in LA again, but it took me about a week to understand that the real world is not Junior Duncan, and you have to be, respectful, and you have to be patient, and you have to be empathetic, because people are just not going to, jump to your commands and do what you want them to do. So it's not easy if you're a committed actor in your craft to just let go of those characters immediately, depending, especially how far in, how deep you are in your process, because we all have a different process. And, it all depends on the human being and the person that's playing that character.
So when I saw you, the first thing I thought about, because I'm a creator, my mind never, like when I see people, I always tell my wife, I say, when it comes down to human behavior, I have a PhD and I was born with it. But when I saw you, the first thing that I truly said, because real tough guys don't have to act tough.
Not at all.
And you only call upon it when you need to in the series, which is great. And I just started watching it just several months ago, and I binged. I stopped.
You just started watching the family.
Well, I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. There you go. I'm a busy man. And I'm in the sports world. Business over here is as demanding, and we do it for real. Like we over here for real. But awesome. I got it. And I don't do a lot of television at all. Maybe the last hour of my evening is some television. I came across it and it's a BET show on Netflix. I'm like, I'm gonna check it. And I clicked in. Of course, I know all the actors. And as a matter of fact, I was gonna ask you, do you know my buddy Kent Falcon? Because he was in For Better or For Worse with Michael J. It was on BET. I think it was on TBS at first, but he was co-star with Michael J. in the Better for Worse series. Go up there and you'll know
my brother Michael J. White you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never met him personally, the other gentleman that you're referring to.
Okay, well, anyway, this when I came across it, I just said, man, some interesting people in here. We got some giants in here. You got Lisa Ray, you got everybody. It's packed, and the acting is phenomenal. So
thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it is, man. And you guys really deliver it. Like, I'm not someone you can fool. I operate at the top of the game. And when I watched, and I just was like, this is deep. I said, we got to watch this. And we watched, and I binged, of course. And then I say, okay, I got to slow down because I don't know if there's another season. I was like, I don't understand how this could not be another series that was just binge worthy like this was Sopranos, was The Wire, just things that, but you got the family thing is
family element that keeps us together.
Strongest, it's the strongest family series that's about that life that I witnessed as well. So I was like, and then, when I came on the 4, I got nervous. I was like, and fortunately, when I was on my Facebook feed and I saw you and Lisa Ray and you and several of the other actors. Your brother is one that when I was after school, they used to say, hey, you remind me of what's his name, your brother. I can't think.
Orlando.
Orlando, yeah.
Orlando.
So
Daryl
yeah,
Hanson.
so they say, yo, you remind me of him. Like, and then I was like, nah, man, that dude looks great. Like, he don't never have a bad day. But
He's always tight. He's always on point.
He's on point. He never misses a beat. So I started and I came across you. So I'm gonna tell you this. If it wasn't for you, I still would not know that there's a season 5 coming out, right? So thank you for picking up the camera and doing it like you did it, because you worked with that camera. I saw every single one. You see how many I came and dropped comments, let you know I'm watching, and I'm gonna bring it to my audience. And we got 1 million people across 2 platforms.
Congratulations.
And I'm going to keep, so that's why I wanted you up here, because I think people need to know about that show. And I think people really need to know that there are people like yourself and your team, and you just got legends with you, that you get that mentorship. You get to get just that and you had a long career.
I feel like I'm just getting started, bro.
But your career, but you've come into your own and
Thank
stuff.
you.
So now
I appreciate it.
I want you to tell me about this one thing though. The role that you played in Notorious as Suge Knight.
I mean, dude, it was funny because I retired and I used to do executive protection, bodyguard work for a lot of different A-list actors, and it was a pivotal point in my career when I booked that role, because I was going to go back out on tour with Queen. I was bodyguarding Queen Latifah at the time, and she was getting ready to do Life of Bees, and something just didn't work out with the timing, or for what I had to do for my career. And the day that I told them I couldn't make it, I got a call for that audition. Because if I was on tour, there's no way that I would have been able to, be in person, meet George Tillman Jr., and audition for that in person. Shout out to Twinkie Bird Casting. They're the ones that blessed me with that casting. Went in there, I went in character, glasses, cigar, like for real. I was in the audition room. They were like this. I was like, yeah. And I was like, any artists out there that want to be artists? I was in it. And I booked it. And it was a blessing. And then I was working with another couple of A-listers. And in 2009, because of the momentum in that film, I had to step away from private security. And that's when I took my career. I've been a full-time actor, working actor through the grace of God since 2009.
Yeah.
But it was fun playing Suge Knight. It was definitely fun. I didn't let that get to me, because the streets will remind you real quick that you ain't him. So you can't be walking around like, hey, you got to have that backing behind you. I was just a character. I loved it. I had a good time. People to this very day will still roll up on me. Yo, what's up, Suge? I'm like, bro, I'm not him. Relax. This is a character that I portrayed. I like that, buddy.
You got to have the real Duncan family with you if you got to play that role. You got to have the Duncans.
It was great, man. But now I'm really excited about a show that I have coming out on Apple Plus. I'm playing the character, the Prophet, and I'm healing a child that has sickle cell. And the funny thing is, my son in real life has sickle cell. And this was another role that came from God, and this is with Natalie Portman. So you can look it up. It's called Lady in the Lake. Lady in the Lake on Apple Plus. That should be coming out this March. I don't have the exact date yet, because it was pushed back because of the strike, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
I noticed that was going on.
I'm happy to be seen in a different light. I'm playing, Prophet, and I'm in a preacher's robe and preaching the word of God in front of a congregation with a lot of people in there. And it's a lot of great stuff. It's a new character, new experience, and I just want to show people outside of just being the big guy.
Well, yeah,
that I can do a lot of different things. So usually it's, correction officer, bodyguard. And now this is so abstract from what I normally do. I'm excited for the world to see me in this capacity.
Versatility, like my man Jake was just saying. I'm gonna bring him up real quick, because Jake understands. First, you got to get known for something. You got to prove. Terry Crews, like, you got to prove that you can do something.
I work with Terry.
I'm
there yet. Great
really
guy. Love him to death.
Yeah, he's definitely, he's a story. He's a complete story with everything that he's done. And when you met Terry Crews, what's your take on him as being a person that you know him personally?
He's
What
a
do
man of
people not
character.
know about him?
I can't even. I can't. He's a man of faith. He's a man of God. He's hardworking. He's consistent in what he does. Family first. He's
Yeah.
a good. He's a good human being. He's thoughtful. He takes time. Like I met. I met him. We worked together on Are We There Yet? And then my friend that worked with them on the Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I was with them last night. Unfortunately, I'm here in LA for my friend's memorial. Kamar Bula Reyes, who I used to work with on the soap operas One Life to Live for
Yeah.
7 years. He passed, so yesterday was his memorial. So I saw Melissa Famuro. She used to work with
Mhm.
Terry on the Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So she brought me to set one day, and I hadn't seen Terry in about like say 4 or 5 years. And
Yeah.
he just took the time, and we were talking for like 30 minutes, and behind the studio, right there down in Hollywood. And I just said, this guy took the time, and he's a busy man, to motivate and encourage me to be the best version of myself, and just dropping words of wisdom. And that meant the world to me, because a lot of people don't take the time to give back and to motivate and encourage others to be the
Yeah.
best version of themselves, because they say there's a lot of information out there. You have learned knowledge and you have applied knowledge. I'm the person, when I learn something from someone, I apply it, especially if they're where I want to be in my life. If they, I don't take advice from people who aren't where I want to be, because it just doesn't make sense. You can't share a multi-million-dollar idea with someone that's, making $100,000 a year, because you're not going to get the motivation and encouragement you need
Yeah.
to push forward in your pursuits of your
They
life.
they have a different business model. They
Yeah,
got a
different mindset.
6-figure business model. You're looking for the 10-figure, 9-figure. You're looking for commas. They're
There's a
looking,
quote. There's a quote that I use a lot. It says, "Birds of a feather flock together. Eagles fly low. You cannot become an eagle if you're hanging around with pigeons." So I'm always making sure that I'm around people that I'm learning and I'm growing from, or that
Mhm.
when I leave their presence, I have more, more value, more information. And it's really important to surround yourself with those type of people. And Terry was one of those guys that took the time out of his life and his day. When someone is giving me their time, I really adhere to it. And
Yeah.
he's a great dude. Look at his success.
So
The wise man says, "What you say, I do not hear." One's action speaks ever so prevalent. Your actions define your character. Look at his actions. Look at the success. A lot of people talk that talk, but are they living it? Are they walking it? He walks it and he talks it. And that's why,
yeah,
I got mad respect for him.
you definitely, when I see you, and I could tell that you have a really established IQ. Established IQ is you don't only have it, you believe in it and you're walking by it, just like your faith. When you think back to the days of when you go, because I had, of course, I did my research, and I pulled up things, and I said, with this Rockway Flash guy, you know you were doing what you had to do. Tell me about that. And do you
It's,
ever
it's
reflect
really
back?
it's really a simple thing, man. I don't like to lose, and I became the Rockaway Flash of professional arm wrestling. I used to do that for a minute back in 2000, 2002. I was going back. I used to be a lifeguard on Rockaway Beach. I was walking back up to my shack on 117th Street to see my old lifeguard buddies, or my lieutenant and my captain, and there was a competition going on the boardwalk. And I was a big fan of that movie, Over the Top, with Sylvester Stallone. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I watched that movie. So I competed inside of the thing. If you notice, I had my hat turned back just like Sylvester Stallone, and
Slide.
I just took these dudes up. I just kept rocking them, and I rocked them, and I really didn't know quite what I was doing, but I knew that I was strong, and I'm very confident. So I just happened to win the whole competition. Then I started training for it, and I was undefeated for a hot minute until I got with this other guy going back
Levels.
like levels, and he was on some stuff. I wasn't on anything. He was on some stuff, and he ripped
Yeah.
the tendons in my arms. I wasn't taking no steroids or nothing like that. This guy,
Yeah.
he wrecked me, and
Yeah.
that's when I stopped, because my acting career, and if I'm on a motorcycle or I'm driving a car and doing different things, I needed my elbows and my arms to work properly. And a lot of
Oh,
these guys, their arms are they don't extend fully out because everything is pulling. And I
yeah.
said, I can't keep doing that. I need my body to look symmetric, and I need my arms. So, but
Yeah.
when I did do it, man, I was definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I didn't like failure is not an option.
You did what you had to do, but look at where it's getting you, because you're just starting your journey, man. And seeing you, I got my guys down here, man, Jake and my boys. Let me see if they got questions to pop. Jake's in the movie industry. Wake up, Jake.
Jake,
What's
Jake,
up?
how you doing, Jake? Pleasure to meet
Good,
you.
brother. Yeah, likewise. It's funny. Just I hate being that guy, but small world. We are actually 6 points connected. You
Separation.
said you were working with Queen on Secret Life of Bees. My dad did
No,
the
no, no,
music.
no, no, no,
Or
no.
no, you were, or she was about to.
And I bowed out because it's security. When you're doing security, it's a lot of work. You're traveling and it's a lot of hours. And I just, I just came off of the Traveling Light tour, and I was filling in for her main guy, Keith. Real great guy, another great human being. And I would say that was the end of, the security thing for me. But I didn't work on the Queen, the Life of Bees. It was right before the project when I said no, and then that was it. Then that's when Suge Knight Park came in.
Makes sense. Yeah. My dad did the music for Secret Life of Bees, and my dad is done a lot of stuff with George
Tillman Jr. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So just small world.
It is the further you get into this industry, everyone is connected in one way or another.
Yeah.
And I've learned what's really important in this business is relationships, how you treat people,
Yep.
because you never know where someone is going to end up. And a lot of people who I thought I was cool with, and I remember this is funny. When we first started the family business, we ended up on BET Plus. People were like, because they were just streaming their app, what's that? What's that? Right? Then when we went on the network, the same people that were dissing it were like, oh.
Yeah.
And then when we did the licensing deal with Netflix,
boom,
game over. Like
proximity.
Oh man, it was like this. Now those same people can't come back and be like, "Yo, Sean, what's up?" I'm like, you know what's up? Don't I remember what you said, bro.
Don't play.
Don't
It's
even
just
ask
the
me for a
perseverance.
favor.
It's just the perseverance. I mean, my dad. It took me years to learn this lesson from my dad, which was just the 3 Ps. Whenever he gives speeches to colleges or high schoolers or whatnot like that, it's like, Mark, what's like your secrets of success? And it was like, I don't know, 3 Ps. Which produce, promote, persist.
That's beautiful.
Like,
beautiful.
But just the simplicities that, like, especially as artists, like we just need to make art. Like, and even in the boxing world, you got to box. How often are you boxing? How often are you producing what you need to produce? Promote. Hey, look, this is what I just made. And then you just keep doing it again. Hey, look, I'm in the gym. Hey, look, I had a fight. Promote. I have a fight coming up. I just did a fight.
And the great part about what we have now are these phones in our hands. They're incredible tools. Think about back in the day, we had to be in a studio and run a camera, and now we're able to reach millions and billions of people in the palm of our hands. See where technology and AI has advanced to, where we can, like, I'm in the hotel lounge, doing a podcast with you. You don't have to be anywhere physically to get things done.
No.
So it's my job, I feel, when I'm on set, and I don't give away any secrets or nothing like that. But when we're outside, I started this thing, and it made some of my posts go viral. It was just, y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready for season 5. And that's all the thing we did. And all of a sudden, I just saw the numbers going through the roof. Kept it simple, and I didn't want to break the formula. They're over my left shoulder, go like this. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. And they're like, and all you see the engagement was off the roof. Sometimes you don't have to try too hard.
You don't even have to try.
It's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it simple.
Yeah,
KISS.
that's what we live by.
Keep it simple, stupid.
KISS.
And it worked. And when I get back on set, do some videos, because everything I'm doing is to promote, to let people know the show, what's going on. It helps the network. Some people don't do it, and it is. But now I'm learning how to monetize so you have to really, start controlling your content. And it has become now a business. You just can't get on and like, all right, cut the check. Because if I know that I'm going to bring a certain amount of eyeballs on a project, people will reach out like, yo, can you post this for me? I'm like, I've never asked you to post anything of what I'm doing on your page. Why are you doing that now? Because you see the numbers and you see what's happening.
Yeah.
Now you want to ask for a favor because it can help.
Yeah.
And I'm always there to try to help someone with a cause. But unfortunately, when it deals with the social media, these people only really care about the entertainment. And I've learned you have to stay away from politics and this and that, because it'll all affect the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's everybody for yourself when it comes down to that part. Like, your phone works too. Just keep going. Don't work on my push-ups. your chest ain't gonna grow from me doing push-ups. Like I did this because this is the only way I knew you had season 5, because you was like this, camera up, going, not just one, not just two, multiple times, over and over, same person going back to them saying, yo, like, don't stop. Because guess what? Your bank account don't do anything. It don't shrink when you do that. The only thing you do is increase your numbers, and now it's going to grow your account. This is what I'm saying.
This might sound crazy, man, but people are being casted now based off the amount of followers that they have.
Oh, 100%.
Like knowing, that they can put notoriety or get eyeballs on that screen to get them to go to the theater or to stream it
and
or
models
to watch
too.
it. Yeah, so it's important now, even though I could have the greatest skill and talent, and I'm a work in progress. I don't judge myself or my performance. I let the people, when they say we loved your work, and I'm like, thank you. That's when you know you're doing something. But the key is now to continue to get those numbers up so they'll just, oh wow, it's got 500,000 followers. Let's get them in, So the key is to build it organically, because now they have companies that will look and see if your following is authentic and pure. Like you're not using bots and stuff like that. So I'm trying to stay consistent with it, and it's just a part of it's a part of acting now. I hate to say it,
It's
but
a part of everything. Do
You
you
know?
know Jake Paul? Do you know KS?
I know.
Like that's
Jake Paul. Look at what he accomplished from YouTube.
Camera. Turn the camera on, people. You
But
got
also, he was doing a daily vlog every
day for 800
big
days.
content, big
800
content.
days. Yeah.
I want to add 2 things on that. Like I have a buddy who's an actor who I work with a bunch, and what he does really, really well is he shoots all the content from behind the scenes, but then he'll release it all once the picture's coming out.
Yeah.
So
And
it'll
blow
be
it
on
up.
a 6 month. It'll be a 6 month
Omnipresence.
delay, 8 month delay, year delay.
Yeah.
But he has all that content ready to go. So he's sharing so he's the guy who has the behind the scenes for that project or for that episode or for whatever it is, which is a great insight. It's a way he's been able to grow much faster.
Yeah.
And to your point on the marketing, do you know that Dwayne and Kevin were the 2 guys to change the movie industry in terms of advertising, because they built their followings, and the studios were like, hey, can you drop the trailer? They're like, yeah, pay us
10 million more. Because
they're like, we're not going to advertise for you for free. You're going to pay another channel. You're going to pay Hulu, Fox, whatever, CNN to play the trailer. You're going to pay them.
Yeah.
Pay me. That's right. It's genius.
And so they changed the industry in terms of actors monetizing it off of their marketing and being like, no, I have a following. This video is going to get 1 million views. CNN is going to get 1 million views. This movie stars me with people who are interested in my movie.
You have influencers who are making more than CNN correspondents. People were making more through influencers making more than TV hosts. So what does it show you? The power is in his phone and creative content and being able to engage with people and have them coming back. Advertisers are like, let's go. Because it's about the numbers. These influencers, some of the deals that these influencers are doing is just mind-boggling. And it's like, there's a book that I read called Copycat Marketing. It says there's nothing wrong with being a copycat, just copy the right cats. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm watching a lot of these influencers, what they do, their consistency. I've learned the number one thing, consistency, editing. And these are things that I have to learn. I'm not outsourcing it yet, but I do definitely need a person at the next level, to follow me around to. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
That's what I do. Cinematographer, someone that can follow you around and upload your stuff and do the graphics and hook everything up. So that means a lot too, because when you see it professionally edited, it just brings a certain level of value to that individual that it's on their page. But those things cost bread. Nothing is cheap, but you have to. That's why I'm trying to monetize from it, so I could use the profits from the Instagram to then reinvest it into the brand. I don't want to use my own money
and leverage.
Cycle. Exactly, and just keep building it.
You're leveraging that, and that's what we do as a team. We coach everybody kind of how to go about doing this, and we do it. And I'm proving and I show it. My stuff is reality live on mostly my Facebook. I can't give a lot to Instagram because the platform, I just got to a place where I can stream live like this to Instagram using the computer. But that's what we're doing, showing these guys I mean, I literally wrote a book on how to do this. You got to do it right. Jake is on our team. Jake
I gotta
is,
pick up your book, man. I didn't know about
yeah,
the book. I gotta pick it
yeah.
up. I love to read.
We'll take care of where you are right now. We'll help you out and because it's just about deals. Deals will change, leverage will change, opportunities increase exponentially. I mean, I literally am living that life. And I said, you gotta, like Denzel said, I can't take it with me, but I can leave it here. Make sure you give it to people who are committing that way though. Because I can't take a person. Jake, what's your term? 0 to 1. Can't do 0 to 1 guy. But 2 to 10 guy who doing it, got bloody knees, scratched up elbows, bleeding from the lip, swollen eye, because he really out there battling with us in the foxhole. We can help him because he understands the value of it, how much work it takes. That's where it comes to a place where we say, yeah, we'll help you because I know you'll give back. It's pitch and catch.
Dude, my biggest thing is I'm learning so much, and I definitely am going to do a book. But the key is, until I'm at a certain place monetarily, how can you teach someone to do something? You have people that are talking about teaching, but then they can't show their bank statements. They can't show, hey, did that money come from this? A lot of people are finessing their followers, and I'm not that guy. My thing is I want to teach and give back once I learn how to do it the correct way myself, and then package that and sell that information, because we're living in an age where people are selling these ebooks and informational packets. And sometimes they're worth $500, $1,200, $2,000. Why? Because the information in there that you can really make money. You should, if you go through the blood, sweat, and tears of building a brand, and you're taking notes on every single step, you should definitely package it and sell it to your followers, because they're going to be able to benefit. Because it's been so hard for people to open up and say, hey, I know how to do the editing and put in those special effects to do this and to do that. A lot of people aren't forthcoming. The Lord says, ask you shall receive, seeking you'll find, knocking the door will be open. You have to ask for help, in order to, to get people to try to help you. And I've learned the more that you ask, the more that you will receive. You have to, don't let your ego is edging God out. Don't, just when you don't know something, ask. Don't be afraid to ask. And if someone doesn't give you the information, you kind of see where they rank in your life, or knowing that they're that kind of person. They're afraid to see you elevate and to go, because I'm at that brink right now with the right information, the right editor, the right person. I can go through the roof. When you start getting over 1 million views on a video, and I didn't even try to do anything fancy. I said to myself, now I'm building the team to help me grow and evolve to the next level. But you have to go where people are making those things happen. And I'm also willing to pay for that information because it's of value.
Yeah. The mark, that mark, when you get to the being able to do that, like I can do it repetitiously. You got to understand what comes with that. I got videos 5, 6, 7 million. Like, you got to understand, you got to have a team in place, because your messengers, your DMs, your sites, all that. We crashed last week. We crashed last time that happened. Like, you have to prepare. So we had to build a team. It was 23 people on the outskirts of what we did, from like 5 to 23. Like, you have to. And it got to a place where you say, okay, you can't just go viral and not ready, unless you don't care about not making money. Like, I don't want to go viral for free. And I wanted to bring my guy Otis. Otis was the first reality show and played for the Ravens as well, but middleweight champion. And he's just been a powerful team player and stuff. But
awesome. Nice to meet you, brother.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I wanted to ask you, man. Well, first of all, I wanted to say this. I am a part of the Screen Actors Guild because of the reality show and things that I know.
Awesome.
Eric, you were saying earlier how I had outstanding potential to be a action movie star. I didn't take that opportunity at the time because I wanted to be a world champion. I was in boxing and I wanted to keep my tunnel vision on it. Also, Jay, in between that time, I during that time I wrote a script.
I gotta do a Bill Duke. I gotta do a Bill Duke on you right now.
Bill Duke. You was with Bill Duke too. Yeah,
you got fucked up, right?
Yeah.
During that time, I also wrote scripts. You know, and
Awesome.
one of them became a novel. You know, a bestseller on Amazon called
Congratulations.
Hearts. So
What was the name? Say the name again.
A Change of Hearts.
Change of Hearts. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you know, go out and get that to read. Definitely. That needs to become a cult classic movie for all you guys listening. Anyone out there that wants to do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, what it kind of goes into the question I wanted to ask you. In acting, you know, some people have it naturally, like you said, they can come over from sports or from social media or whatever. With yourself, what was the hardest role that you had to play? And where do you dig from to find that range or whatever? Because I know, like myself, you know, I can be, you know, I'm 46, but I could be a 20-year-old, you know, I could be an athlete, I could be a Puerto Rican guy, an Asian guy, a black guy, you know, like all kinds of
range.
stuff. So, but I've never formally went to school for it. This is just all mimicking. I have an outstanding capability to mimic. That's how I even got over from the NFL into boxing, because I can mimic movement and things of that nature. But
awesome.
what was your range finder and your hardest role that you had to play?
Okay, let me tell you something. You're talking to someone right here on this platform with the resume that I have. I'm not theatrically trained. I had never gone to an acting class before I booked my first commercial. I was very fortunate. I booked 3 commercials back to back. I have a great ability to, like yourself, mimic. I went into the audition room. I saw what they were doing before me, and I said, okay, I got to do the same thing and throw my little creative spin on it. And I booked my Burger King commercial. Everything I'm talking to you about, you can go on YouTube, put Sean Ringo Burger King, Sean Ringo Boost Mobile, Nexium, Dr. Scholl's. I read a lot, so sometimes certain commercials need for you to read, and you just learn on working on yourself. So you don't have to be theatrically trained to win. Just know that. But do I advise it? Sure, because you want to know, you want to know how to do a character breakdown, a character analysis. You want to get into the mind of that character that you're building and you're creating, and that you're about to sacrifice who you are as a person to become that person, and then be able to do it on camera. You have to work through your nerves, because when you're dealing with certain productions that may be $500 to $1 million a day, when you're doing network TV, those productions are big. You need to know your lines, and you have to be able to take it off the page and make it yours. And you have to be respectful to the writers and also the producers. There's certain etiquettes that are very important when you're getting on camera, but doing a good job and also being able to take direction. When the director says, I want you to do it more this way or that way, and then you can maybe sometimes sell your idea to them about what this character is, because remember, anything that you're booking is really an extension of who you already are. Whether it's your facial expressions or how you deliver the lines, it's an extension of who you are, but you're putting your spin on it. Secondly, I would say on the family business, some of the emotional scenes was some of the hardest or most challenging work, but it's such a great environment on that set where it wasn't that hard, but I had to prepare. I had to put a lot of time in. And when I go straight in on that character, I make it real. It is so real. I'm living a real experience. And that's the hours of preparation through that whole week when you get those sides and you're reading it and you're reading it, you're digesting it. And then you're saying, you're taking that character on a journey. What has led this character to this point? Why are you saying what you're saying? What is the purpose? What is your intent? What are you trying to do? And those things come together when they say action, and the kids to be able to perform and know your dialogue, where it's just like a regular conversation like we're having, because you've done the work. They say success happens when opportunity meets preparation. You have to prepare for those opportunities. I was teasing you earlier about you not jumping on that opportunity to be an action star, because those opportunities are very few, far in between. So when they do come, success is built on inconvenience. Whenever things get challenging for me, like it wasn't easy to put the time together to do this. I was just rolling down Ventura Boulevard on my boy's 64 Chevy. Just before I got here, I said, look, I got to be back at the hotel at 2:40 to be able to do this. Success is built on inconvenience. He has other things he's doing, but he wanted to drop through, say what's up. Anything that I do, usually there's some form of inconvenience, but it leads to something greater. You never know who's going to be watching this. You don't know where your opportunities are going to come from. Somebody will reach out, send you a DM on your Instagram, and then boom, you're in a position that you never thought was actually possible. So back to the acting, I would say the family business, a couple of emotional scenes that I have coming up in season 5, it was very challenging.
Yeah.
But when you prepare, it makes it easier. Once you prepare, if you don't do the work and you're distracted, you have to learn how to turn your phone off, because when you're reading and you're going through a character, your phone, the notifications are going off. You have to like put it on airplane mode and you have to turn it upside down. I tell my wife, the kids, I have to dial in. I'll go get a hotel room and leave so I can really embody myself in this character. So it's just, I'm living it. It's oozing out of me. So when it's time to get on camera, I'm not shook by anything any actor gives me. Certain attitude, I know how to bring it right back to them. And be sweet and compassionate. I can do that too.
Yeah.
And you be able to switch them up on them.
You go to that level.
I'm a killer.
Yeah,
So
you go to that. Yeah, you go to that. You go to that zone. You do. You go to that love zone. I said, he got the player in him, and then he got the other guy. He flip it.
I'm married now, man. I'm married now. Ain't no play up in here, man.
No, I'm saying, you playing it? Or, you got her some way.
But let me tell you this. This is something that I when I do acting classes for an organization called Get Real with Your Dreams by Sade Benoit in New York City. I do these acting workshops.
Yeah.
One of the best things that has helped me, and it came from God, but it's helped me in every aspect and every facet of my life, and I hope that I can leave you with this nugget, this gem. You have to be comfortable in your own skin. When you're comfortable with who and what you are, you can sacrifice yourself. You can let yourself go and not feel funny, not feel judged. You have to be able to become that character that you're reading.
Yeah.
You have to forget about the way you used to act. Who is this person that you're creating? And if they have a quirk and they're weird, insecure, you just embody that person. But when you're not comfortable in your own skin, you start picking up who you are and thinking, oh, that's not the way I would act. It's not who you are. This is somebody else. So the biggest thing is to let go of who you are in this physical realm and becoming a whole nother person. Those are things that I do, techniques that I work on. And also I read a lot of acting books, and I have acting coaches that help guide me. And sometimes they give me advice that I feel that I can do, but I don't try to, if something's not broken, don't fix it.
Correct.
So you don't want to totally, sacrifice your technique for what they're teaching, whether it's the Meisner technique, your method actor, whatnot. You have to also do what is work for you, and what triggers can you use to be emotional, to be sincere, for them to look in your eyes.
Yeah.
And then you have the technical acting, like you're tighter on film, you're less animated on film than you are on TV. It's a wider shot. Film, it's much tighter and more inside there. So you're doing a lot less. You keep it very tight, very still. It's more powerful. So you only learn that from taking the time to learn,
craft,
to learn. Yeah,
science.
I'll never stop learning, and I'll never stop reading. And I'm a student to this. I learn and I watch the pros. When I'm on set, I'm quiet and I'm watching. I was lucky to start on the soap operas back in 2006. That lasted for 198 episodes. And I started under 5, and then they built a family around me. I became a season regular. I don't know how many people in the history of acting was able to accomplish something like that, but it was phenomenal. And I was working with people like Erica Slezak, Bob Woods, Cassie DePalva, Kristen Alderson. These are great Emmy Award-winning actresses. And when you're around people that can manage 50 to 72 pages of dialogue in a day, your mind, you can do magnificent things.
Yeah.
When you start learning how to do that, because your mind is just like the muscles, like doing push-ups. The more that you work it, the more that you read, the more that you can remember. You learn stage directions, you have your blocking, you have your rehearsals, and then you just go, 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 go. Then when you start doing daytime television, you're doing 2 or 3 pages in a day. It's like, this is it? This is it? And it made everything else kind of seem easy.
Yeah.
After you do soap operas, it was the greatest college I had online. I had on camera experience from the pros that really can handle a shitload of dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's been a gem, and it's I wouldn't be where I'm at if I did not have the experience of being on the soap operas.
Do you know what Miguel did? Because Otis was on the show with me when Miguel Nunez came on.
That's my
You know what he? Yeah, he's off the chain. But
Very smart, very great actor. He's genius. He's
Yeah,
genius.
he can take it left, right. He can go there. Yeah, yeah.
He is a beast.
Yeah, and he basically does little like clinics, teaching, and if you want to get great at it, start teaching it, showing, and it makes you pull, because I can see you now that I could tell the way you grabbed your phone and did your audience. See, there are certain things, because see, I lived that life. I've gotten deals, major deals like this, just phone in the air.
Wow.
And so because people see you about their life and the numbers show up too. So when I would see him doing it, I said, man, I could just watch his videos because he's channeling you. He's helping you have a progressive method of not just doing something or saying something, but embodying that thing, like you were saying to Otis. You got to embody it. You got to believe it. First, you got to believe that you know who you are, and then you got to be willing to let that go. That was your starting point, knowing who you are. But your finishing point is going to be Michael Jordan with 104-degree temperature in the finals, and he switched that character, got back on the floor, won the game, champions, and having to be carried off. That calls for a different thing. When Shane Mosley got hit by Floyd, Shane hit Floyd, and Floyd just buckled, and then he just came back to posture and was like, the fight just turned like you call upon something different, and they are there, but you got to know it. You can't fold when that pressure comes, because that's how they say pressure bursts pipes, unless you're made of diamonds. You know what I'm saying? And that's
absolutely.
Yeah. And
I've learned this too. It's important to feel forward. People on this Instagram and people think that they just want to step into the position of being looking perfect, because these phones give people a shot of dopamine every time they get on it. They feel, oh, look at me. And not understanding that's not how other people are reflecting and looking at you. Your perception of yourself is different from how other people perceive you. And I've learned we're living in a world where now people can smell through the BS. They can see someone who's real and authentic, and what they're portraying is that truly who and what they are, or they finesse in the situation. One thing I will never do is finesse and try to act like if I'm showing a dope exotic car or something, I'm like, this is not me, guys. It's going to take some time, but one day. Other people like acting like it's their stuff, and people are straight fronting.
That's crazy.
If it works for them, it works for them. But I got to go to bed at night. I'm not, I'm not gonna perceive myself to be something that I'm not.
No,
I'm a hard working brother.
You are a hard worker, and because of your work, the free part is what let me know, which is what made this happen. So I can't thank you for letting me know, because for one, it's my favorite show. I don't even really look at anything else. Two, that
I'm glad, man.
I know that the road that you're walking on is already paved in gold. So
the guys is, thank you for saying
it is, man. And what we're going to do is I'm going to thank you, and this is your golden ticket. So you're gonna get a master class, that book, and a master class to help you along your way, your journey. And I will have you back on.
I appreciate that.
I will have you back on. So we'll reach out to you. We're about to bring in, I want you to introduce yourself to my man. He's down here, former Olympian. He's went to the bathroom, world champion. And Otis, I don't know if I told you he was coming. Look at him. I ain't gonna catch him walking back to the thing. I got you. I caught you.
Hey, man, I wasted my broom, man.
Andre Durrell, everybody. My man. What's going on, man? Look at him. That's what the champions do. Go ahead, get ready. I'm gonna let you back in. I'll let you in when you tie your shoe up.
I'm good. I'm back. I'm ready.
But that was my man right there. I tried to get Clarissa, and I don't know what her calendar was, but I wanted Detroit in the building.
You hear me? You see
me? I hear you.
Okay, I thought you left me.
No doubt.
Now,
Flint Town though, Flint.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
Flint.
Flint,
yeah,
Flint
Flint
in the
Town.
building. Flint,
Detroit, that's my people. I got a lot of people out there, man. It's second home, but Flint
yeah,
Town, baby.
I know, man. Y'all boys did
Pleasure
your
to
thing.
meet you.
No doubt, man. Good to see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all
Yeah.
having me on.
We had to get it. And like I said, I wanted to get you up here, Andre, because I just knew that you have such a perspective and stuff. And I'm gonna let Sean ride out of the set and pull you in. But Sean, check your messages and your email, and we're going to connect. And man, you enjoy the rest of this day and
You too.
continue.
Thank you so
blessings.
much for having me.
Oh man, the family business, you guys, you got to check it out. You'll see it posted on the page. Make sure you go follow my man over here on his Instagram. I'll have that on the link in the description. And just make sure you guys support these guys because they're bringing some amazing television to Netflix, and we need that as a people. So continue, doing what you're doing and staying on top of your game, brother, because it's just beginning for you. Be blessed.
Thank you
man.
so much, man. Guys, it was a pleasure meeting you. God bless you. Enjoy the game. Let's get after it.
Yes, sir. It's about to go down. My man, it's good guy. I really, really appreciate this guy doing the stuff that he's done, man. And he got some stars around him with that crew that they got over there on Netflix, man. If you guys have not started to watch, if you have not seen Family Business, man, I'm gonna give you one more rendition real quick before I took it all far. Man, Stace, could you lock it in if you ain't got it? Please put that back up because that is it. But right now,
The reason we're all here today is because we do a lot of business together.
We're ramping up production.
You do not know who you're playing with. Start talking, bitch.
Where is the respect? I want Junior Duncan dead by the end of the week.
Heat belongs to the Duncans. Anyone who doesn't understand that
Oh, Ringo! Now, listen, you play Junior.
Junior Duncan, that's right now.
What is Junior's role in the Duncan family?
Junior is the protector, the enforcer. I've had to really step up and I have to watch everybody. I have to watch my brother's back, Paris. It gets real.
Yes, it's believable. I feel like you could hurt a couple guys and not break a sweat.
Watch your tone.
Yes.
boom. Boy, that series right there is good television, but today
I've seen that before.
Have you?
I ain't never watched the show. I've seen
Get
the
on
clips. So that was like the director or something of it.
he was in the movie. He's in it. He's one of the brothers. Yeah, he's one of the stars of the show.
Yeah, I'm
Sean. Yeah, man, they doing it. I mean, they got a loaded cast. Like everybody's in that joint. So I had to bring them on because self-promoting is one of the reasons I had to pay attention to him, because he was promoting the season 5. Anything that can go the 5th season is real, especially if it's got some tone on it. And they were able to elevate from BET to Netflix, and they're one of the top shows on it. And he was out there just with all the stars that he's with, just promoting the 5th. And I said, man, the network's not even doing that yet. So I saw him and I just said, yo, I gotta shed some love and shed some light on the scene. And when I did that, he was less willing, and that's important, man. And I seen you start working and being visible as well. And I could just appreciate you. I told my wife, I said, you got to see Darrell throwing them jabs, man. That boy, I'm like, man, because these young guys, man, they don't really have faces to really look at that really did it for real. Yeah. And you did it for real at the highest level, which is some of the questions that I'm gonna get to when it comes down to these young fighters today and kind of direction that they're going. Tell me right now.
I like that.
You're around greatness already. The D ain't got to prove nothing. All right, number one. Right. Detroit, you produced enough so everybody know it ain't nothing there but smoke.
Right.
But when you see these guys today, right now in the boxing world, like You don't have to say who you don't like, but
Right.
who is standing out that you know the pedigree because you are that? Who is it that is standing out to you right now that you're like, I don't know if they understand that?
Who is standing out that I don't know if they understand that
that
position
the
they're
regular
in?
people watching, because people don't really have a point of reference.
Yeah. No.
You know,
They
they don't
don't.
know
They
who's
don't.
really good.
Yeah. Or what it takes to get there.
That's what
Right?
I'm gonna ask you too.
What attracted me to your page was the name Master
Yeah,
Boxing, and what it takes to master anything, right?
yeah,
Is more of what I'm attached to than the word master itself or mastery
yeah,
itself. I've read the book Mastery by Robert Greene, and the concentration, the level of focus, the
yeah,
level of discipline. It takes sacrifice to get to that position. I
yeah.
don't know how many fighters out there today with that actual pedigree are in a position to get there, but don't have the level of focus, concentration, discipline to get there. Right.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. Today's world is popcorn. And I want to overuse that phrase because it's used so much like it's a popcorn society today.
Yeah.
We see things and
Yeah.
we're on to the next that quick. Right. It takes an extreme amount of focus to become great at anything. And I'm not just talking mastery now. I'm talking about just being great too.
Anything.
Being great, and then there's mastery, right?
Yeah.
Like even being great, even developing the skill, even sinking yourself or swimming in what it takes to be an elite fighter.
Yeah.
That's what I worry about more than anything because today's fighters are more attached to, again, I said this before, the lifestyle, right? And not what it actually takes to be a champion, right?
Yeah.
That's
You're right.
That's the scary thing too, because like today, more fighters are taking their talent or skill for granted, right? Mainly because their coaches or fathers or leaders are simply pushing them to do it because they don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Like I didn't have a choice. In today's society, if my grandfather would have tried today, I'm not sure how it would have went because there's so many distractions, right?
So much.
Crazy
So
amount
much.
of distractions.
So
Like,
much.
But surprisingly, we still see it. Again, I'm loving a lot of the smaller fighters. Terrence Crawford is my go-to guy, and EJ as well. EJ as well because of not because of the skill set they both possess, but because of the mentality, right? It's mentality first, right?
Mentality.
You need that mentality to fight
Yeah.
through those treacherous days in the gym where you don't feel like being there. Not just to show out when you get in front of somebody who you're better than, but they think they're gonna outshow you.
Yeah.
I love that mentality, man. I'm infatuated with it. Kobe was my guy.
Yeah.
Maybe rest in peace. Michael Jordan, Ali, Floyd Mayweather too. People who just
Didn't let nothing stop them.
They completely ignore pain, right? Like
Period.
in all aspects, frustration. Clarissa Shields as well. She
Yeah.
ignores the pain aspect of it mentally and physically, right? It's
Period.
frustration, the pain of frustration, not wanting to be there, not just physical pain here, right? It's
Yeah.
going to take every amount of pain for you to get to that level. And Shakur has it. I want him to stay there, though. I'm not sure what any of these fighters possess other than
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford. He's already proven that he wants to be there, that he still belongs there, that nobody's going to knock him off his shit until somebody actually does it, but he's not going to let you believe
Yeah.
it's happening until it happens, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you gotta fight. You gotta beat every, not just fight, but you gotta beat every element to beat Terrence Crawford,
Yeah,
right?
you do.
So
Absolutely. He is
it's
the
a lot of
real.
fighters, man. It's a lot of fighters, though.
And when you think about this generation and approaching the Olympics, because I'm gonna show you, because I brought it up on the studio, and I wanted you to understand with these young athletes now approaching the Olympics, we have a bevy of young fighters right now that are going they're coming up this road, and I don't think I'm gonna tell you how many people just over the weekend have come onto the page and didn't know what they needed to do.
Sorry.
No, it's
Lay
all
up.
right. Panicking.
Lay up. Don't drink water. It's cream in there.
Literally, I'll literally pour it. The tiniest bit outside.
What else?
That's it.
My sugar in there?
No.
Okay, give my.
There we go. So you guys will see.
Before halfway out, just put some on those-
This was the era that
I'm so sorry, brother.
It's
so
all right.
Sorry.
You're good. I was putting up my coach,
Yeah.
who coached it when you fought, Coach Bradley.
That's your coach?
He's more than my coach. Coach
Oh,
Brad.
man, me
Coach,
too.
Coach Bradley.
Coach Brad, that's my guy.
Coach Bradley. Coach Bradley.
Wow.
Okay. So
Wow.
another
Yeah.
reason why I had to bring you in, because I know he's just a encyclopedia.
I
And
still talk to him.
he taught me things about, just things with your eyes about boxing that most people don't even know exist. And I'm talking, there are guys with titles that don't have that luxury of having that lineage. And then Coach Adams above him. I mean, I told him it took me 15 years to digest what he was giving me. And then I started my company, and that's why title master is in front of it, because there are so many components that people don't understand about a fight.
Yeah.
And when I watch you, and I know your story with your grandfather, he was great. I loved that, just how they always told that story. And I love my grandfathers and stuff, and that you got to do something with your grandfather was so. Tell me about him, man. Tell me just you from your, what did he do is impact wise when you used to look at him as a young man? I mean,
yeah. Well, first of all, it was his presence. Once I got older, I understood what that presence meant to a young man trying to survive in the hood. Right. Out the gate, my grandfather, I'm talking as far as I can remember, it goes further than that, but even let's start with I can remember 5, 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
Him stopping by the house to pick up my big brother and me begging him to take us to the gym with him, and showing up with him and watching how he handled my big brother, my uncle, my big cousins.
Yeah.
I loved being around him, but I hated that authority. But of course, a kid naturally is going to hate that type of authority because, especially in the hood, I didn't have my father around. So he was the guy. He was the one that took us in and gave us that discipline because he knew we needed it, right? Regardless if we wanted it or not, right?
Yeah,
man. It was all about presence for my grandfather. He didn't have to say much because he displayed it.
Yeah.
Right. And again, we get older and we recognize these things, and I can tell you, right? You won't see it in those times. And for fighters today who don't have that lineage, like you said, I fear that because they're leading with what they know. You know what I'm saying? And the influences they possibly took in. Be it good influences, great. Be it bad influences, now we got a problem on here because they're leading the next group of guys on the way up. Right? When you find yourself in trouble, you find yourself in a spot where you don't think you're man enough to handle it, and you don't have that direction, you know what I'm saying, or that understanding because your grandfather or father didn't give it to you. It's scary what you do with it, And so in that aspect, man, we need more of that. And this is why we need fathers in the home, man, Black fathers specifically. Right? Because our heritage is so colorful, powerful. We are broken, but at the same time, this is what I'm saying with that, right? Broken first, right? But our heritage is so, we're colorful, we're boisterous, you know, we're willing to stand out,
Yeah.
right? We're willing to act first, right? But to things that don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
You're
We're
right.
joker in a lot of the aspects, but now when it comes to being business savvy or having the discipline to build a business or raise kids the right way, you be the father the entire time that your child is a child. You know, I'm being your father amongst you want me to be your friend. Like I tell my kids today, 16, I got a 16-year-old boy in there, 12-year-old boy, 3-year-old boy, and a 4-month-old boy, right? And a daughter who's 17 as well. I don't care how mad they get, pissed off, I'm still gonna stand my ground. And it's easy for me to do. I don't even like saying stand my ground like I have to, right? Like it's because that's the position that God that put me in, right?
Yeah.
So I hold it with ease, even though the job is hard, right?
Yeah.
This is what I want fathers looking at this right now, potential fathers, and young men and women as well. When you picking your significant other, these are the kind of traits you need to hold on to. You know, learning not to be your kid's friend ever, right?
Yeah.
Being friendly to them, but I'm never your friend. I'm your father. I recognize that, and I
Yeah.
recognize what it takes to raise a young man and girl in today's society, man, led by so many influences.
Yeah.
And that's what my grandfather was to me, man. So I think it's just top of the line, the most important thing, and on all sides of the field. If there's something lacking in a family, right, like it was in mine, no business aspect. Everybody got this street mentality, and they know how to handle things streetwise, right? But then when it comes to taking on being business savvy, now we might be good in some areas, but let's explore all of these areas and let's start leading the herd in a different direction, right?
Yeah.
And bringing them up. Now it's gonna be hard for me, like it was hard for X, like it was hard for Martin Luther King, like it was hard for Rosa Parks, Huey P.
Yeah.
Newton. You know what I'm saying? But they sacrificed their freedoms for us to be in the position we are in today. So it might suck for you leading the family or walking the family in a new direction that's going to better them as a whole.
Yeah.
Right. But it has to be done.
Has to be.
It has to be done. That's the
Yes.
most important thing, man. And
Yeah.
and that's what I'm doing, man. That's what I'm doing.
It's obvious, man. You've always been a man of character. You've always been composed. Bud Crawford reminded me of you because he wasn't very. He didn't display what he could do through his mouth a lot. And you were the same way. You got in the ring and you boxed guys like seriously. Like they don't understand. When I saw your skill, I said that kid is groomed. Because you had athleticism and you had real skill. And that's what people don't understand about boxing, because you're an athlete or athletic, that you don't have to learn principles. You knew how to box like a pure technician when it's time to box like a pure technician. And you knew how to work when it was time to work and bang when it was time to bang. And I saw all of those little elements. And then I said, even at the Olympics, because I recorded the whole Olympics, you know, because my coach was doing it. And then I was just like, so I don't know, 18 hours, 28 hours worth of video. And I was recording, and that's like, that was my first time seeing you. And they were telling this, you know, the story, and they always did a good job in marketing to people. And then, of course, and I didn't see your brother at that time because you were it, man. But when they would share the story, and they was like 6'2", you know, this kid, like he's a full, complete man already, athletic. So I saw every fight as a pro. I was like, yo, I'm a fan. Like, and you delivered that. And with the guys, where the guys are where they are now, like their guys, we got a guy up under our tutelage that is going, you know, to compete in the Olympics. You also beat one of our fighters in the Olympic trials, Julius. And I told the story. I was just like, yo, but you're up against something different. Would you explain to people who don't understand what they're about to face when you go to the trials and in the Olympics, how the levels change and you didn't even know it?
Exactly. Man, I was always, man, a lot of these national tournaments, man, a lot of them came easy, I ain't gonna lie. But when I showed up, right, because I made the Olympic trials, I won the Olympic trials, or I made the Olympic trials. I don't even remember what tournament I won long before the Olympics actually, the trials actually took place.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, yeah, it was, man, I didn't have a hard time because of my natural ability, my reflexes, my speed,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, foot movement. Now I moved unnecessarily a lot, and that don't mean I ran. I moved unnecessarily a lot.
Yeah.
And it can always contort my body in the crazy angles to make it hard for you to hit me. And I come back and blast you with a big shot, man. So a lot of these shots, man, a lot of these people I would fight, I would see the night before, be like, man, I'm having a tough time. Like I ain't going there thinking, no, I always knew I would win, right? But I still went in there with a small amount of skepticism because I will watch them the night before. And when I see them the night before, and when I get in there with them, it's like, it's almost like the fight in slow motion, man. You can see punches coming.
Yeah.
You know, I had the ability to see punches coming so easily.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's ain't that your natural ability, but having someone who had a lineage, who've been in the ring with Muhammad, who've been around. How important is a lineage?
I think it was because of that too, because all throughout our amateur career, I'm talking about throughout my whole entire journey, 236 fights worth, my grandfather always made us watch boxing when we got home. So I was clocking stuff in that I probably had no idea. My subconscious was doing a lot of the work for me, right?
Yeah.
And so I was a student of the game, man. You know, but
I like the way you said that. The subconscious was doing a lot of work for me.
Yeah. People don't pay attention to that.
They don't pay attention to that. That's real.
And that's probably thanks to the book mastery. Right there. I ain't saying that because I read a lot, right? But it could be that could definitely be one of the reasons. Maybe just paying attention to a lot more. But even when you show up for the trials, man, not just the even when you show up to the box off and the trials, it's different because everybody's showing up. It's like, man, I didn't know all these people. Like, it was a lot of cats in the trials I had no idea was even relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they showed up, man. They brought their best.
Yeah.
Right? They all brought their best, man. So it does. It's going to take a big element of confidence and not just skill.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't fake that kind of confidence.
No, you can't. You have to. You simply have to take yourself to another level when you show up for the trials, for the box offs, and for any other big tournament, for a world championship fight. Doesn't matter. You always going to have to take a little bit more with you. Even though you don't think you can muster it, you have to find a way to believe you did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And go in there and perform the best of your ability, man. We have to show up in times of, uncertainty, man. And your work ethic is going to be your only confidence booster to that.
Man, I'm telling you, with that being said, having you knowing, to stand on that podium, tell me that moment where you got to stand on that podium, man. What people don't understand about that moment when you're walking up there to receive this medal from fighting the best in the world.
Right.
What is that feeling? What do you recall when you were walking up there?
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you what I recall losing when I lost to Triple G, and I believe I won. I do, right?
Well, you're in USA. You got to beat them times 10.
Right, but I cried. Right, I cried all the way back to the apartment and back to the Olympic complex. And when I got there, Andre Ward was like, "Man, you got robbed, man." I just laid it off, cried my whole night, and showed up there. I saw my grandfather hug him, started crying again because, I felt like I let him down. And, but all the way up until it came to the part where I had to walk to go and receive my medal, right? A lot of joy, man, flooded me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing to make it to such an event, right? To be a part of an elite amount of people, the best in the world, the best from every country, the top dog of every country is seated in one tournament to prove it all, right? And that sense of being robbed, I didn't care no more. That sense of hurt that I felt as I was walking, I didn't feel it anymore. You know what I'm saying? I felt pride for my country because you got the opportunity to see my flag being raised.
Yeah.
You know, I got to stand amongst the greats. You know what I'm saying? And I did something that literally what 90-something% of people would never do.
90.
Right? So I appreciate it. Like I appreciate it in ways that can't be explained, man. It's a very fulfilling moment. Right? You don't feel like you won a bronze medal. You feel like you did a service for your country, man. I go down in history as one of the guys who've won a medal for his country. So I appreciate that 110.
And you do, but you got to think about it, man. We weren't, you know, it's just like the world said, we got to stop giving them medals. And this is like, it just cut us. I mean, we were winning fights and not getting the decisions. So that was all a part of, that'll be in movies soon because they've already proven it, that they were edging us out on purpose. I mean, Roy Jones, you know, Vander Holyfield, like fights weren't even competitive. Floyd, fights that weren't even competitive. So that's a story. Somebody's gonna do the whole script. My guy Jake, he's the movie business. He might be the one to do it. You know, like, because I know how much happened. So, you know, you can't. I mean, the best in the entire world. Like all of the people that wake up with dreams, yours was real. Like, like all of the 7 billion people at that time that had dreams. Yours was real. Like, dude. So I mean, when you think of the magnitude of that, and I just don't think people understand.
I'm from Flint, Michigan, right?
And I was gonna say that too.
Right. And listen, man, a lot of people say Detroit is the boxing mecca of, you know, Michigan, but really it's Flint, man. We have 4 medals out of there. 4 Olympic medals, 2 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Clarissa Shields, Chris Bird, Andre Durrell, right? 4 fighters from Michigan went to Olympics, 4 medals. That's 100% success rate, right? But showing up, right? Showing up back home off that plane when I walked off the plane, man, I listen, I seen it and I knew some of the people was going to be there, but man, when I tell you that little airport was flooded to the max.
I can't even imagine.
My goodness, man.
You made it real.
The amount of inward joy that I felt, man, like inward and outward, right? I'll never forget it, man. Our plaques or our plaque, or if there's a poster when you fly into Flint, Michigan, that shows the faces of Clarissa Shields, Chris Bird, and Andre Durrell when you fly into Flint, Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an honor in itself for real. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And what I did was big, and it let me know that because we have a way, especially being competitors, right? We have a way of downplaying success if we don't reach the success that we want.
Of course.
Right? But you do have to learn how to appreciate every amount of success that we accomplish in this life, man. Because a lot of the times, man, it's not expected. You know what I'm saying? Statistically, if you just go and look at the charts, I was more likely to land in prison than I was to land on top of a podium.
1000%.
So it's a blessing, man. God has been good.
What I tell these individuals is there are stages of this game. You know, the stages are first you come in, you learn technique, and then you learn the skill of that technique. You get to a place where you master that skill, and then you start learning these skills in sets. And then you start understanding that you got a concept down. You start to understand this is more like what I feel like when I can put it together, like you said, unconsciously you're doing it. Then I say you progress into that place where you have this thing down and it's your craft. You're doing different things now that aren't technical things. They're craft. You're trying to
talk about it.
That's right. And then you get to that place where I say people like Dwight Muhammad Cowee and Archie Moore, they cagey. They can make any great fighter look horrible and win against them. They can take it all away because cagey is just that different facet. Those are the physical components.
Yeah.
Now you have to have first that algorithm of a fighter, and the final level of combat, boxing, is humility.
Yeah.
It's the highest level. When you can embody that, that's what I saw in Chris Bird as well. Humility.
Oh man, top of line.
And my wife, she down in the studio. She'll tell you when I talk about Chris Bird, I'm like, you talking about the most underrated cutie killer. He was beating dudes up and knocking them out. I got his whole career on video. See, I really study the killers, right? Now, how underrated is Chris Bird?
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hate that I was a kid throughout most of his like professional career, right? Because when I got older, I remember when I started watching him.
Yeah,
I was in the middle of my career. I probably like 7 or 8 years in, probably 9. And I really got a crazy appreciation for his skill once I started watching his fights on YouTube over again. Because I seen him all as a kid. He always gave us free tickets. That was the first gym we worked out at. We worked out with Chris Bird in the gym. You know, we sparred him, and you know, he played with us. Him and his brothers, Ronnie and Patrick, as well. You know, so we grew up around him our whole lives, man. And he became a big brother. Once I flew down with him to stay with him for some time. I think I stayed with him for a week, 2 weeks in San Diego. And man, we did our thing together, and I used him as a coach for a couple of fights, man. And man,
smart.
Yeah, man, he is, man. Everybody speaks highly of him because he's a great guy. He really is, man.
Great
Had a lot
person.
of tough battles too, man. Not just in the ring, outside of life as well.
Yeah.
But he has that personality, man. He literally will give you the shirt off his back.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
he
gonna have him
literally-
on the show. I actually connected with him in last December because he beat the shit out of us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fought him back in 07. He beat the shit.
Oh yeah, Chris.
There's something
Bird,
about
man,
that Flint water.
Man, he was something special, man.
It was something
definitely
special. I mean,
underappreciated like a mug, only because he took himself. Like he was so confident in his skills. We all, every Olympian from Flint, Michigan, Clarissa Shields, me and him, we all fought at 165 pounds. We were all middleweights. Right?
I can't believe he went to heavyweight.
I know. He felt like he needed to go there because he felt like that's where the money was.
That's where the money was.
Believe me, he went there. I can't believe he had the confidence to go up there with all of them dogs.
Yeah.
You know, when he fought David too, I was scared as heck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Just
remember
was
that.
nice.
Yeah, man. And, man, his boxing ability, man, like it was his confidence. It was his, he knew he had it up here. It wasn't a thing to him.
He
You
could
know?
write a book on the science of what he was doing, because the science is, I tell people, in the amateurs, you learn how to box. In order to know how to fight when you become a pro, you have to use boxing. In the amateurs, you box and then you utilize attributes in fighting. When you become a professional, you fight and learn how to use the attributes of boxing. And what he did, he would box your lights out, take away everything you did great. And then as the fight went on, he turned into the bully. And I was like, yo, this dude got it. He got the mastery down.
Yeah, you have to professionally, man. Part of that mastery is being able to finesse. Right? It's just like keys on the piano. Some you press lightly, some you press heavily, right?
Yeah.
Chris Bird wasn't a big puncher, but he knew how to throw the big shots, right?
Cadence.
And he knew how to lay off.
Yeah.
Bah, 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 instead of bah, bah, bah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
Snapping.
it's gonna require finesse for you to find that big shot and lay your opponent out, man. So it's knowing how to set the tone like they do on the piano. Things, small little touch, light touches to set up that big punch, man.
He was a problem. I seen him
man,
punish
he
some
was.
guys. When he beat
Hands
Holyfield,
and
see, but I knew he could beat the guys that nobody thought he could beat. When he fought Holyfield, I said, he's gonna beat
How old
Holyfield.
are
People
you,
were like,
if you
you
don't mind me
crazy? Huh?
How old are you if you don't mind me asking?
54.
You what?
54.
You 54?
Yeah.
No,
I
you
know.
not.
Yeah, dude. I'll be 55 this year. I know I don't look the part. I know.
Dang, you don't.
I know.
You don't, man.
Yeah, I done been there,
that's
B.
crazy.
I done been there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
I done
man.
been there, man. I've been
Yeah.
there.
Black
Yeah,
don't
dude.
crack, brother.
Black-
Black don't crack. I love it, man. I love it.
Yo,
I
yeah,
love it.
man.
Then
But
you
what-
got to see him. Then you got to see him at a great age, man. If I
Prime.
could have watched him as an
Woo.
intellectual,
Yeah.
teenager, young adult, man, I
Yeah.
would have got
Woo,
so
your
much
level.
from Pittsburgh.
Because you,
Yeah.
what he would have shown, what he shows anyone that when you're watching him is that everything is about setting up. He would show you truly how to chop someone down over the course of. And guess what? I'm gonna tell you, when I knew it, I said he gonna knock him out in the 7th round, no later than 8, because I knew I studied his system. I mean, he would pop, 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 and as the 5th and 6th start coming, he started sticking. And then I said he turned into Tyson. And that other guy, the worst thing to be in boxing is not hit, is tired. And he would just exhaust the other guy, the guy of all his resources. He's just gone. And then Chris will be like, reminding you of that dude that beat you up when you was 12. And you would just shrink.
Even if the fans don't appreciate it,
Yeah.
to be able to box the guys lights out for 12 rounds, man. Man, that you have to have a crazy amount of skill level.
Layers.
of skill
So
to
many
be able to do
layers.
it.
You can't do the
Right?
same thing.
To keep a guy off with a jab, to keep a heavyweight off as big as Holyfield, strong, muscular, to keep him off pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
light punches, man, that says so much. And people don't understand that, man. That's where the mastery is at. Right?
Yeah.
It's like if I'm coming at you with all of my might, all of my will, all of my strength, and all of my power. Holyfield had all these attributes, and he was a very loose fighter. He knew how to
Yeah, he knew that stuff too.
Holyfield had it all.
Yeah.
Nothing he could do.
And he
Nothing
came
could
up
do.
from lightweight, light
Yeah.
heavy. So he was
Yeah.
also agile with what the way he was.
Yup.
Yeah.
But Chris, man, was a boxer in foot, man. And they just, even today, man, people don't appreciate it as much as they should.
They
man.
don't.
The
I got his
skill
whole
level
career
it
on
takes,
VHS
man.
tape.
Yeah.
All of y'all, like the Olympics, from my first time seeing you and
That's
the rest.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
I always tell people, well, if you want to know boxing, you got to study it. You
Talk
can't
to 'em.
really just
Talk
go
to
to the gym.
Right.
You will soon identify with a fighter that literally reminds you of yourself eventually when you box long enough. Maybe you have an affinity for a fighter, but this is how I came across Archie Moore's family. They just was like, we appreciate what you do, and you remind me of my father, and you just have all of those. You think the same way he did. Always, you saw boxing as such. You saw it as a global. You saw it as the universe. And so many people just think of a skill. And I said, do you know how far that skill got to go? Like you just said, you know how hard it is to keep a heavyweight off with a jab? Anybody. You know how many different layers and rhythms you got to develop to do that? You can't just do it the same way. Sooner or later, he going to counter it. You got to have so many layers. And you got to understand that you got to train that brain that way. But look, man, I appreciate everything that you did. And I just want people to understand.
I appreciate it.
I want people to understand that to get to the level that you got to, there's 100% chance that they won't. But there's just that slight hair, eyelash of a chance that you can be Andre Dirrell, that you can be Andre Ward, Floyd. Like you're in that category. You did it at the Olympic level and you did it in pro fighting. So don't forget that, dude. You are in a small universe, period. So I just always say, I like to give those guys who really did something that the game forget.
I appreciate that.
I like to make sure they understand how much they mean. And if I got you in my library, you real.
You know,
I don't, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
You know, I want to say this too, man. Now that I think about it, and I would rather have known this in my career than realizing it, right? Probably right now having this conversation with you. that maybe, just maybe, because boxing fans are very emotional, right? Like when they got their guy, they got their guy, right? But how much can the fan truly appreciate boxing, right? The art of boxing, not just the knockouts and the flashy stuff either. You know what I'm saying? Everything of what it takes to be a boxer, man. It's like if a fan has never been in there, then how can they truly know what you're going through during a loss? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
During a tough fight. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like not appreciating the talent that you possess like you appreciate mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think because now that I know that,
Yeah.
now I got to figure out what to do with it. I'm more likely than I'm going to help the next fighter come up and realize these things.
Yeah.
So hopefully this aspect of it right here can reach one of them to just understand that people are going to hate your style, people are going to love your style.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact you keep performing, in every facet of ability that God has given you, and don't change for anyone or anybody. Grow in it, right?
Yeah.
Don't listen to the fans. Keep working and just keep performing, and don't let what somebody say destroy the fighter that you are. Like, because yes, the fans never been in that ring, so they can't know.
No.
I work with clients today. And I sparred the last one I just had out here, Nathan, the one I just trained, the last video I posted on YouTube of him working with him. He only sparred one time, right? And the time he sparred, he said he touched quite a bit. The dude was like 30 pounds bigger than him, right? But the most important thing for him, like he said, was the experience, because you can't truly know what you're dealing with or how to deal with it if you've never been in there. I don't care how well you hit the mitts. I don't care how well you hit the bag. I don't care how well you perform. Until you get in there and somebody punches back, you cannot know. You cannot know. If they never fought before, don't take their word as gospel.
No, because there's so much. That's their perception. That's
that's just their perception,
and that's not reality. Because even people who are fighting think because they won 20 fights that's it. Like all they got, and they don't realize their levels. Ask Errol Spence. And I mean, there's a reason why a lot of these coaches come and follow the page, because I like to keep it honest. I like to keep it real, and I like for them to be fully equipped with the knowledge that they're going to need. But all the fighters have to do, take this with you, is you have to get people to the arena, but you have to be who you are, because nobody understands how many hours a night that Usher had to sing to get this down, what he got to do. They don't know how many years it takes David Chappelle to come up with content to provide, to make people laugh. No one should ever understand it unless they're doing it, because that's why you're the expert at what you do. Just get them to the arena so that they can't cheat you out of your money, because Floyd was a master of getting you to the arena.
Yeah, he was.
And maybe you didn't like my style, but you're gonna at least pay to see me lose. Get them to the arena. That's what we teach you. We teach them how to get people to you. Utilize your social media, learn how to do this thing, and you're getting a gold ticket today too, buddy. So I'm gonna help you out. We're gonna email you, and we're gonna make sure that the next chapter of your life is gonna be filled with a lot of answers where you are right now and how you're giving back. We want to contribute to that. So you'll be getting an email, and we'll connect again. And look, man,
most definitely,
you're truly appreciated. And you're talking to people right now who are taking their kids into that realm right now. We have 1 million followers across 2 platforms, and they're going to appreciate what you just said, who it's coming from, your experience, and that lineage, how important it is, because these are the questions they have. And so many kids right now, I'm talking like the past 3 days, it's been like 70 kids who are about to go into that dungeon for the first time, or trainer, and they don't understand. So this talk is going to be, this is the talk that they're going to use 30 years from now. Like, oh, I heard Andre Durrell say this is that and that and this. And I took that as Bible. And that's what you just did. So I appreciate you for coming up here, brother. All right,
Thank
my
you for
man.
having me, man. I appreciate you having me. 100%.
Absolutely, man. You enjoy the game, man. And I pray to see your Detroit Lions in the joint next year.
I know, man. I can't believe it, man. Oh, my man, I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely, man. Be safe. Be blessed.
You as well. Take care.
Iceberg.
Yes,
Iceberg.
sir. Yes, sir. How you doing today?
I'm blessed, man. I can't complain. It's been a beautiful day. Letting some great people come up, and for everybody in the world, this is the man right here, the global power when it comes down to business growth, expanding. You know, people talk about millions. This man's talking about trillions. So unless you're totally serious about making that money and blowing your company up, don't talk to this man, because he ain't got the time unless you're talking about T's, not B's.
That's because we got to be serious out here. You know, I tell everybody I'm in a race to outperform the cemetery. You know, I'm trying to beat that cemetery. I want to do everything I want to do in life before I'm gone. And so with that, you move with a sense of urgency. And a lot of times, you know, we think small because our target is small.
Yeah.
You know, if your target is small, then the chances are that you're going to get it. It's probably real. You know, but when you have big dreams, big visions, like all the speakers were saying, it takes a different level of concentration and commitment. You know, one of the things Jesus said that means so much is that if you want to be great, be a servant.
Period.
So you gotta be a servant to your craft.
Yeah.
You got to be a servant to your vision. You got to serve that thing day in and day out.
When you got started, what gave you the aspirations when you first got into business? And for people who don't know, Iceberg has turned multiple companies over into millions. So, you know, his business cachet is just on an entirely different level. You don't get to meet people who know how to go out there and make it happen, because the school systems don't teach us how to make it happen. The Rockefellers put education and stuff like that in place to prevent you from making it happen and put you in the worker mindset. I don't care if you go into college, all they're teaching you to do is that I can learn something. I have the patience to learn it, but they're not teaching you what you need to know. We had to send people out of our operating room on a regular basis, making it clear to them, you're not learning in college what you need to know in here. This is real life. And so for you to transition and turn your life into someone who was you unwove that cotton that they tried to steam you with and make you become one of those puppets. What was it in you that turned you away from that mindset and gave you the mindset to go out there and be an entrepreneur, a power entrepreneur?
Well, you see, that's the thing. I don't even consider myself an entrepreneur, because to me, an entrepreneur, you're just a self-employed person. I consider myself a mogulpreneur, because my vision is bigger. You know, I want multiple business. I want multiple streams of income. So I try to operate at the level that I definitely want to be at. And I want to be above. And so with that said, I looked at it as, do I want another man or somebody else controlling my future?
How old was you when you said that to yourself?
I was young. I always knew I was going to own my own business. From high school, when I got to college, I knew I was going to own my own business. I knew I was going to work for myself. But one of the most profound things was one of my professors from North Carolina A&T, Dr. Hall. I remember I was a photographer while I was in college for the first couple of years, because I learned that skill set. And I was working for this company, and a gentleman came in, and it was him and his son. I took the photographs, and I sold him a package. And he sat there in awe. And at the end of the presentation, he offered me a job. He said, I own a cable company. I live in Texas. I own a cable company, and I want you to come out there and work for me. I'll pay for all your expenses. Now, at this time, I was a sophomore in college. And so what he offered me at that point in time, it was a decent amount of money. And so I went to seek guidance. I went to my professor. And I asked him, I told him the opportunity that was presented to me. And he said, I want you to think about something. You're just a sophomore right now, and somebody's offering you that level, that money. How much more will you be worth when you graduate? And what that conversation was about was value. Do you know your value? Because you know your value, you'll charge accordingly. And so that changed my mindset as to how I approach things. Not looking at it from monetary, but the value. What's the value that I'm bringing to this situation? What's the value I'm adding to this person or their business or their life? What's the value others are adding to me? And you really need to sit there and take a look and say, okay, some people, and this is not to be harsh, but you got to subtract some people, some things from your life that are not adding no value. And so when you think about that, just think about it like this, right? If you pass away today, how many lives would be totally affected? And then think about the people that you know that if they pass away today, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't change anything about your life. You wouldn't think or thought about it.
Facts.
And ask yourself, what position are you in? And so for me, school teaches you how to trade hours for money.
Period.
And so we're wrapped into that. And all we think is the skill set we learn in school. We don't really know how to monetize the skill set. We know how to monetize the labor behind it. So when I go to school and I learn this skill set, I'm looking at the market tell me what they're going to pay me.
Yeah.
Because they're paying me for the labor of the skill set. Yeah. But if I understand the business around it, the ecosystem around it, I tell the market what I'm charging it.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way to set and frame everything for these people who are watching, because they're constantly being educated on some level. And that's why I wanted you to pop in and, it's Super Bowl Sunday, but I said, I got my man. So I explained to these kids yesterday that, one of my son's friends had a birthday party and we went there, and, I always keep you in mind when we talk in business with these individuals, as the kid was like, I want to work. And he was like, I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. And his mom and them were there. And I was like, yeah, so what do you want to do? What's your skills? He was like, well, I bought a watch for like a couple of dollars. And he said, I sold it for like $25. I said, well, do you know what you did? He was like, no. I was like, well, you know what they call that? You flipped it, but it's called portfolio money. When you take some money and you sell something and you get more money back, right? There are three forms of income. First, you got earned income. You can practice your whole school years to be a guy who worked for their income, exchanging hours for dollars. Or you can be someone who sits and does the market and, does flip your money into portfolio money or sell. That's cool. If you want to exchange and sell, you just got to sometimes sit somewhere and trade shows or whatever be the case. That's simple. But see, you can learn how to do the other one, which is passive and cash flow.
And you're so right, Eric. I mean, let me just unpack that a little bit more. So you got earned income, you got passive income, and you got portfolio income.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, every business person wants to turn into an investor. When I'm a business person, there's a system. Mm-hmm. And that system needs to run without me. So I'm going to say this to everybody out there. If your business cannot run without you, you don't have a business.
Facts.
You're self-employed. I just want to be honest with you. I was in that state, so I'm not talking to somebody that didn't go through each one of these stages. An employee to the self-employed, to the business owner, to the investor.
Yeah.
And what the investor is, he's mastered business systems. Mm-hmm. And because he understands business system, business models, he knows what direction based on those formulas a company's headed.
All right.
And so what he does.
Break that down, your system. So people have more of a perspective, because you remember you were 15 at one time, and the school systems and the people don't educate. That's not around. So break down system versus.
One of the things is, and you're saying that, and my grandmother, she was not just a teacher, she was a principal. And so one of the things she was big on was education and knowing the information, not regurgitating it, knowing it. She would take everything away from you and say, now explain it to me.
I love that. Oh man.
You want to make sure you know it, not that okay, you can memorize
Yeah.
something, take a test. A lot of us memorize things, right? So when
Yeah.
you think about the systems, you're asking people to teach you about money that don't know about money. How can they teach you? You know, it's funny. I was talking to somebody who was telling me they was teaching marketing, and it was some type of cohort that was set up for this person. And so the question was asked, tell me, have you done anything in marketing professionally? Have you actually taken somebody to the next level, shown them how to scale? And they say, no, but I've got all the curriculum and I'm going to go through the curriculum and teach them. Well, we asked them, we said, well, how will you know that it works if you've never done it? And so that's the school system, right? For the most part. A lot of times people are teaching you things they've never done.
Yeah.
And so they don't know the nuances. They
No.
see Eric on a podcast and somebody tells them, well, get the mic, you know, put a background behind you, get on, just start talking. I'll use the saying. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. So let's step back a second and talk about systems. So first you gotta say to yourself, okay, and this is where we make the biggest mistake. And that's why Fortune 500 companies and people that I deal with love me. Because first I want clarity. We can't move forward without clarity.
Yeah.
So, and I'll use Google, for example, right? A lot of times when just think about it. When you try to get direction from Google Maps, and the first thing it asks you is, where are you right now? See, it has to know where you're starting from.
Yeah.
And then you tell it where you're going.
Yeah.
So you have to be clear where you are right now and tell it where you're going.
Yeah.
Now, here's the tricky part about it that most people don't realize and don't understand. You think that it's telling you how to get there.
Yeah.
No. It's backing up from your destination to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Start with the end in mind.
Exactly. So you gotta plan backwards.
Yeah.
Execute forwards.
Reverse engineer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we say system, you got to think about what's the system, the steps that's going to help you get there.
Yes.
And depending on that business model, you know, you can have a do-it-yourself model, you can have a do-it-with somebody model, or you can have a do-it-for somebody model.
Yeah.
And you got to say to yourself, really, I can have all three.
Yeah.
Because I can create something and package it, hand it to you, and let you do it. So let's think about it, right?
Yeah.
If you go to the store right now, you get a how to bake a cake recipe. It's on the back of the box. It tells you all the ingredients you need, exactly what to put in it. It gives you all the steps. And at the end when you're done with it, it's supposed to produce this result. If it doesn't produce this result, you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Because that person took the intellectual property they had, packaged it, and sold it to you for you to do it yourself. Now, you can invite somebody in that's done it before, and you say, well, you know, I really want to learn how to do this myself. And the person said, well, you know what? I'll do it with you. I'll do it with you. And they're going to charge a different price for that. And then you got the next model that says, hey, Eric, I'm too busy. I can't bake that cake. I just rather pay you for it.
Yeah.
And now you charge a premium because that person is taking your time that you could be dealing with a multitude of people.
Yeah.
And so understanding the business model and how you want to operate goes back into earned income, passive income,
portfolio income.
And so when you have system, you create value in your business that you can sell. So that there's three things we talk about: the wealth gap, the value gap, and the profit gap.
How important is it for a person to buy back their time while they're on this earth?
It's priceless. It's priceless. That's why you see wealthy people are wealthy, because they realize it's like that switch that flipped in your head, right? They realize that their time was more valuable than money. And so what they said is, how can I duplicate myself? I'm willing to give up this money for my time, because it's other people out there that's not even just as smart as me, but smarter than me.
Yeah.
And so why not put them in position and let them do what they're gifted in?
Yeah.
And let my money be the worker.
Yeah.
So I want to put the money to work.
And the speed. You're getting
Yes,
the speed too.
Oh, the speed.
But
That's,
Ice, don't you think,
that's where the scalability comes from.
do you ever run across this? And I'm sure you're going to say what I think you're going to say is, do you find that people are too emotionally connected to something that they've started?
Oh, all day, because
That's why they can't let it go and let somebody else just take the reins and say, let me get all these results for you. And you don't even have to worry about it. No, the flagship, slave ship. They just want to work in the business instead of on the business. How often do you run across that?
We create our own prisons.
Yeah.
We create our own prisons.
We create our own prisons and
Because
lock ourselves up in them.
You can't grow outside of 24 hours. You're stuck. You just limited the growth of your business by you saying, I'm the only person that can do it. So you're the genius. So let me tell you how bad that is. A lot of business owners right now, they're thinking as they on the road to retirement, that they're going to sell that business. But how can you sell something that you haven't packaged, doesn't have a system, when the only system of generating income is you?
Thank you.
So what is the person that's supposed to be buying this business, what are they buying? Because if they lose you,
Headaches.
the business is gone.
Headaches.
Yeah.
No, you can't package it. If you can't package it, you can't sell it. Nobody's that stupid.
Hey,
They're going to ask you, what's the onboarding process?
Exactly.
Oh, I thought you just wanted the keys.
Because they got a lifestyle business, and that business affords them that lifestyle while they're operating. But then when they go to try to sell to somebody else, they get mad when we do business evaluation and say, well, your business is not worth nothing. You might do an asset liquidation sale, but as far as the business not worth nothing, because you haven't documented a process that we can follow, because you want to keep everything to yourself.
Yeah.
You felt like you were the only one that could run this business. Well, the question I want to ask you this: before you started that business, you saw somebody else doing it. So that must mean there's somebody else out there that can do it, and maybe can do it better than you. If that's the case, why would you hold on to this instead of bringing other people in that can help you take it to the next level?
Because there are levels, and the levels will tell you the comments that you have behind your assets will tell you what level you're at. If you could be at level 1 for sure, those 4 stages of the business. Yeah, but as I said, level 1 is your technician. You're the person in the business, and you're so focused on how you do it. And then there's no real appreciation for the business because you're working so diligent in it, being so perfect, being better than everybody or anybody that could do it. That's level 1, technician. Level 2 is hustler. You realize you do have something, and you've heard people chirping about you need help. So you bring on a person or two, couple of, contractors to do a little something. You finally seen some money coming in, and you're like, okay, you decide I need to take this thing more serious, and you get help, real help, substantial help that people can do other operations while you're not having to. You found yourself not having to show up at that place. And you're taking profits and buying and purchasing assets. You got a nice house now. You got a nice car now. And now you're at what we call the baller phase. So you have an appreciation. People think you're doing way better, but you're just earning that life. And then well phase where you're liquidating things. You're selling off companies, or people are buying into your franchise because you have an actual company that you can sell or scale, whatever you want to do, because you can briefcase it and pass it on. And that's correct. Legacy piece. And
that's correct. But you got to think legacy piece, right? And so just to kind of back that up a little bit more to your earlier question.
Yeah.
It's like anything, and I think Andre said it, and other speakers you had prior to me said it.
Yeah.
Can you make it through the storm? Can you make it through the storm? One of the things I learned about boxing is this. There's a reason why you do repetition. Because when that heat is on you, that heat is applied to you, even when somebody hits you with a solid shot, because you've been slipping and moving and everything,
So
the
much.
body just does it automatically. And so that person really doesn't know they hit you with a solid shot because you ain't showing it. But you're trying to
Facts.
gather yourself back and get your ground, your legs back underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, boxing taught me a lot about life and how to
Yeah.
handle situations and how to stay calm under pressure. So I give
Yeah.
a lot of credit boxing. Andre was right. As
Yeah.
a fan, I was a fan before I started boxing. Then I
Yeah.
understood the price that was being paid for, the technique,
Yeah.
the skill set that's being developed, the thought process that go along with it,
Yeah.
the time you putting in. See,
Yeah.
the fight is easy compared to the training.
Yeah. The training is real.
You don't fought about 1,000 fights before
Yeah.
you fight.
Hey, look, you ain't got to get up at 4 a.m. on fight day and run in a 28 degrees.
Man, my muscles
don't even
busting up
get it.
every day. Like they don't understand. Like you can't tell that to a fan that's never boxed that. Oh, your muscles gonna be busted every day if you're really getting it in. I mean, it becomes
Man.
normal. But
Second nature.
when it comes to business, it's the same thing. There's things you're gonna have to learn, and you want something that scares you. Nobody as a true competitor wants to fight against somebody they know they can beat easy.
No, that's not even fun. No, you don't even do that.
Yeah, you
No,
won't do
don't,
it.
You don't do that. It's just unless you're educating, which is a
Exactly.
field guide. Educate, just like with business. And I want people to be exposed to people who think like you. It's not a lot of people that understand the angle you're coming, and that's why people need to like Sean's just said. He said, you want to get to $1 million, you don't hang around $100,000 air. You hang, you know, if you want to be an eagle, you can't hang with pigeons. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like you got to go and not, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room if you want
And
success.
I think I know Sean. So I know you know that I used to own about 11 to 13 nightclubs. But I remember, I believe he was the bodyguard for Jagged Edge when I brought
Yeah.
him in.
He got an extensive,
exactly. And we connected back then. This was in early 2000, and
Yeah.
we lost each other. I switched phones about 15 times, and so I lost his number. But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask him something while you guys were talking. But man, I was engaged. I was engaged because he was
Yeah.
dropping a lot of jewels.
He's real.
And one of the jewels I hope everybody takes in, and there's a reason why I said that, is you got to get in the character. You see, a lot of times you envision you being successful in the future, and so you don't put a date or time on it, so it's not real. See, so what I want to impart to you right now is this: I really want you to think about that future person.
Yeah.
What are they doing day to day that makes them so good, that makes the business run so well? And I want you to take that future person and bring them in the present. Because that seed that's going to turn into that apple, it's already there. It's not in the future, it's now.
It's now.
It's now.
That's right.
So if you're doing the things now that you think you need to be doing in the future, it's going to happen.
Yep.
And so we got to make this real for you right now, today, this second.
Yeah.
You can't say, okay, one day I'll be a great boxer, I'll be Muhammad Ali. If you ain't working out like Muhammad Ali right now, you got to be putting this work in right now. Eric can't say he's going to be have this great marketing company if he ain't doing it right now. See, he's doing it right now. He's living in it right now. So he's not just saying, okay, well, I wish I'm going to be great. He's showing you. And a lot of people are showing you, but you're not paying attention.
Yeah. That's their muscle memory. You know, paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
Is what I call it. They just,
scared.
but you know
They're
what?
scared of failure.
Everybody's not, they just don't. That's why you have to look at who you're choosing to give that information to, because everybody doesn't belong in the room with you. Ice, I'm gonna be honest. Everybody doesn't belong in the room with you, brother. You're the guy in the club, in the VIP that nobody can even come up the steps. So you have to be there. And you only people who get there and get access to people like you is people who are up there too. And everybody, you can't go mingle in the club with regular people when your name was Michael Jackson, when your name was Elvis Presley. You can't. That's what you are to the business world. So you have to be okay with people not being there, because you're not. You weren't given this ability to be in a room with everybody. There are people who are at the level that they ain't gonna go up but so far up that ladder. Yeah, they need to be down there with people because that's kind of where they're gonna be. The community center guy. He's just that's where you at. But you're up here. You're up here in the moguls. To use that word mogul, you got to be willing to live that definition, just like champion. You got to be able to walk around that way. It's okay.
Let me ask you a question, Eric.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you're interviewing all of us and allowing us to share our thoughts with your audience, and I greatly appreciate that. But I think sometimes, for me, you got to give it back to the host, the person that put you in that position to have the chance to express these things.
Yeah.
What's your why?
The purpose is because control over everything that I didn't have control over as I was growing up made me realize that no one's going to do it for you. 200 years ago, my great-great-grandfather built the land, and I didn't know it existed until we had a couple of funerals. And I was standing on a tombstone, and I moved off of it, and I looked and I saw Paul Bradley. And I said, and I looked to the opposite side of that, and it was Roosevelt Sanders. Now, I was a full-grown man at that time. And I said, Myra, why are they here? She's like, stupid, we own this land. And I said, my great-grandfather has been gone 200 years. She's like, we are different. And when I was 12 years old, my uncle Tiny, he was named after a president, Theodore Roosevelt. We called him Tiny because he was 6'3". And he had his PhD. And we was at my grandmother's 85th anniversary of her life. And I've always been a person who's not scared of the mic. The first time I talked on the mic, I was turning 5 in front of an auditorium. And I got up there with the flu and I spoke. I was 12, 13. And I was sick for real. Horrible. I felt horrible. I just drank half a bottle of NyQuil. My sister-in-law gave it to me. And I stood up and I said it, and I sounded horrible. I didn't pitch like I would pitch, but I got the point across, and my sister laughed at me. And she was like, boy, you is crazy. And I was just like, yeah, I am crazy. And my uncle, Tiny, who I was scared to talk to because he was a big guy. I was young, skinny, scared of grown-ups. And he walked up to me. He said, now I'm fine because now I know the new monarch of the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only
Legacy.
thing
Legacy.
And I don't take that light. And I didn't take that 200 years ago where people were here slaves. We own our own land and our own cemetery and our own churches. And, I embody that person, that spirit, like you said, as straight out of birth. My why is to never, ever use any excuse to not be that legacy in front of people. Don't wait till you die, but be that legacy now and churn it out. And so my why is just runs through me like a boiling pot. And it comes from different sides. and knowing the leverage that you can have over control over your life. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell your family what to do. That's why, because that's the only way that can happen. And so it burns deep. And I've written about it. It has to be published. Just the depths of why you're why. And so that's why I like to talk to people. Like when you're talking, they don't understand the depths. So I have to challenge people who are great. I say, now leave that behind in ink. Because boy, you don't understand. You're not a commodity. You're a category of one in a world of billions. You know what I'm saying? Like I told Andre Durrell, dude, it was only 3 of y'all on stage.
Right.
It was 7 billion people then. You know what I'm saying? Like you do understand God loves you more than you could ever imagine. And he gave people who he wants to embody, or he wants them to embody them. He gives them more, and you got more. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I know how tough when you got a big audience of people, you know, you're going to find a small, minute amount. It might be 30,000, but it's, you know, if it's 9 million watching and you can only touch 30,000, you know, I'm just so proud of you, brother. I'm just proud of you because you can't stop what you do. Your visibility, you can't stop it because Malcolm couldn't stop. King couldn't stop. You know, Obama couldn't stop. Like you can't stop because you're here for more.
It's got to be bigger than you,
brother.
It's got to be bigger than you. Like, you know, my goal with Mogul Vision's partnership is to create 1 million successful business
Mogul
owners.
Vision partnerships. All right.
Mogul,
I just want to say that.
Yes. MOGUL Vision Partnership.
All this is going to be on Reels. It's going to be all in the copy, the links, everything. Trust me, our team know what to do.
I appreciate that, brother.
Listen, this is going to live for the next eternity.
You know, so let me just break that down because you're a part of that. You know, Mogul mean big ideas, right? I want people that got big ideas. They're not letting no ceiling. There's no ceiling for them. The sky's not the limit. The moon ain't the limit. Space ain't the limit. They got big dreams, so they're thinking outside the box. In fact, they don't even recognize a box. That's how big that you need to be, right? And then the next thing is the vision. So that mogul part speaks to your attitude. And you just said it. It's your attitude. And now the vision. So you think about that. You think about the attitude, right? The attitude of a lion. A lion knows when he steps. You don't care how big the predator is. Or anything. It's his world. I run this. I run this. Size don't matter to me because of my attitude. There ain't nothing bigger than me in this jungle. And so then you combine that with the eagle that has the best vision in the world.
Yeah.
Can see further than anything. In fact, when the storm comes, it said, well, I can see above the storm. I fly above it. And so now you take mogul vision, that attitude with the altitude. But then there was one piece left that God told me. As he gave me this dream, he gave me this vision. The last piece he said, partnership.
Partnership.
See, I didn't give nobody, no one person all the gifts.
Yeah.
And so we all got to partner with one another.
Yeah.
I'm here to partner with my brother Eric. I'm here to partner with others because together we grow.
Mm-hmm.
What's stopping a lot of people from growth is they like competition more than collaboration.
Yeah, they typically pigmented because it's about ego. Yeah. And like, look at the brothers that you just saw. Now you see people who are like in that same realm. They ain't looking. They don't look straight ahead. They look up only, like only up. Like
that's why they say the secret recipe is relationships.
Period.
Are you a relationship builder? Because if you're a relationship builder, your doors open for you that you never even stepped in that room. So one of the things that I'm going to give, I want to break this down from a marketing standpoint because I don't think people understand the science of what's taking place right now. So let's give them some business science.
Break it.
awareness. I'm gonna give you the 3 A's. Write this down. I don't care where you are. Write this down. Run with it.
He's
I
giving
don't
you
care.
free game. Free
Yes.
game. Beep, beep. Free game
Awareness.
alert.
Yes. Awareness, attention, and attraction. I'm gonna use this in real time. Eric has a platform that he brought all these individuals on today and made you that did not know anything about them aware of them. So now you got awareness that these individuals exist. And depending on who you listen to, some of them spoke your language. They were speaking about what you was interested in. So they grabbed your attention. Now you recognize them as being an expert in their space. Because you recognize them as being an expert in their space, you're attracted to them. So they're not looking for you. You're going to look for them.
Yep.
And so when you think about that in your business, do your clients, potential clients, know you exist? Because I can't never do business with you if I don't know you exist. So you got to first get awareness. And that's what this platform, these platforms, social media, and other marketing channels give you. They give you awareness. Now you got to speak their language. The best way to speak somebody's language, you got to be talking about something they're interested in. What are your customers interested in? That's how you get their attention. That's how you enter that conversation with them.
Yeah.
It's by giving them value in the area they're interested in. Once you grab their attention, you show you're an expert in that space that you can give value to others. Now they're attracted to you.
Yeah.
And you become the hunted, not the hunter.
That's right. You can turn that dial. That is what you call affinity marketing. Bringing that thing directly in front of you and showing people how you do what you do. Not that you do it, but how. And look at how everybody broke down what they did. Everybody broke it down. So you no further have that curtain. That curtain is moved. You see how this brother worked, the last brother worked, the other like everybody, you knew that these people were operating at the highest level in their industry, and no one's in the same industry.
Oh, yeah.
That is a Super Bowl Sunday celebration,
Definitely.
fight
See,
show master.
This the big game right here. What you guys are getting the big game. I want to call the big game show.
It's the
You're
big
getting
game
the big
show.
game. You getting the game you get to keep moving with through the course of your life.
It is,
And
man.
when you think about this game that you're getting right now, because what we just kind of gave you was some of the steps that get you to that higher level, right?
Yeah.
As you think about those steps, I want you to, in your mind, you gotta have this. Who is your target audience? If you could just write ideally the people you want to work with, who would they be? See, you have to have clarity there, because then when you have clarity in that vision, it makes it easier who you're going to talk to.
That's
the
right.
reason why you're scattered and all over the place, you don't know who you want to talk to.
Boom! Just say it loud, say it proud. Know who you want to work with, who you want to serve. That's it. When you figure that out, that's the first step of getting out of your own way.
Everything else becomes easy.
Everything, because you know who you're talking to, you know what their problems are, you can know how to solve it. When if you're an expert in your field, that's it. That's how it happens. Everybody's dealing with problems. Like, I know how to get rid of my problems, but I don't want to be the one to physically do it.
Yeah.
So I got to say, hey, I know I's good at this. I'm good. Like, yeah. Hey, I need your team to just come and swoop this up. I need to go. I got to go somewhere and eat a sandwich. I just don't want it on my plate.
Oh, man. Can I unpack them for them? Because I don't think they understand what you just said. All right.
No,
okay.
let
me unpack a little bit.
Unpack it, man.
What he just said was systematize, automate, and delegate.
Boom. Mic drop. And with that being said, that's how we close the show today, man. Today, we want to make sure that everybody celebrates. It's a day of game. It's a day of brains. It's a day of wisdom and meeting great people who are doing things that you just didn't feel like were happening on the planet. These are the guys that are happening. They're hidden, and at the same time, they're leaving gems. So continue blessings to my brother. Thanks for coming on the show today, Ice. And we will schedule another conversation. I want you to come directly into my crew and my group and, do this same thing, for those individuals. And a lot of them are just watching on board. I'm not even hitting no messages. It's just too many people dropping. If I start that, then I won't get through the day. So y'all forgive me. I will come by through and personally answer these things, but it's time to kick back, man. I appreciate you guys for coming on. Thanks, Ice. You know how we get down, man. I do appreciate you and what you've done in the game, in the sport of business. Is just going to just people, it'll be around the same way greats like Isaac Newton left his laws of physics. And, you got the Kennedys who left family legacy. You have done something that I'm going to take great pride in aiding you in getting even more people aware of this, because I want people to see you on a chalkboard, on a board. I want people to see you and how you do what you do. I want them to actually see it. So some of my guys that are under our banner, I want them to get a real behind the scenes. So with that being said, thank you, brother.
No, thank you for having me, man. Just the same thing. I want to share you with my platform. They don't know, but you come on some of my cohorts and spoken to people, and nothing but honor and appreciation.
My man. I appreciate you. You enjoy the rest of the day. Send love to the family and be blessed at God's speed. All you guys out here, continue blessings. And I see you all in the winner's circle. Peace out. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Peace.